Coming to you from the Boulevard of the Eagles here at Edison High School in Edison, New Jersey. Hello, everybody. It is League of All Leagues action here on the HSG Network here on this beautiful Saturday evening as the homestanding Jersey Sharks take on the Central Jersey Vikings and basically what's going to be called Middlesex Mayhem. And we will see how it all turns out in the next 2.5 hours or so. In the meantime, thanks for joining us. I'm Tom Wilkins, Joey Pagan with me, Howard Gaber taking care of the controls as usual. As you can tell in the midfield stripe, they're getting ready for the coin toss here. But, Joey, you're looking at these two teams, and obviously the Sharks off to a very nice start in the League of All Leagues action at 4-1, although the Vikings have been stuck a little bit with a 1-4 record. What do you see with these two teams and how they progressed since last year and other places they've been?
Well, the Sharks seem to be on pace to where they were last year. No letdown. Don't expect anything less from them. But the Vikings, who did win a few extra games last year and made the playoffs, don't look to seem to be on the same track as they were last year, as a matter of fact. So it doesn't look like they're progressed at all. They just, they've stuttered and they fluttered, and that's where they are at the moment.
And this is a new set of Vikings. Of course, they're far removed from their 2012 one of their league championships, which, of course, they won not far down on 287. But these Vikings, of course, formerly known as the Middlesex Vikings, of course, by longtime owner George Lowe, has been trying to put a very solid team together. Now, Joey, from what you've seen from them, what can you say about the Vikings and what they've done for this year, despite their 1-4 record?
They're building. George has been out there trying to recruit and get better players, and he prides himself on taking those average guys and building them up and coaching them up to a higher level of football. But his staff is short. He doesn't have enough guys down there to help him out as much, and he's still been trying to build a coaching staff also with this. But he's doing a pretty good job yet. He's still fielding a very good team, and they're competitive. They're very competitive.
Well, we'll be seeing more as to how they deal with this little bit of adversity here with this road game in just a couple of moments. You'll notice our new scoreboard in the southeast quadrant of your screen. Of course, you'll notice the sponsor, Too Lit to Fit Nutrition, a proud sponsor of Jersey Sharks football, with their mission being to build confidence in nutrition. Too Lit to Fit strives to empower their customers to reach goals and lead healthy lives. And they also take the latest nutrition science and the expertise of their team and distills it into educational resources and products. If you want to check them out, visit Too Lit to Fit Nutrition in Avenel, New Jersey, located on 215 Avenel Street. Now, as you can see, about ready for a kickoff, the Jersey Sharks won the toss, though they refused to the second half, so the Vikings will receive the ball first. The Vikings will move left to right. The Sharks right to left will switch sides in the second quarter. The Sharks in their home blue uniforms, top and bottom with blue helmets and silver numerals, while the Central Jersey Vikings all in whites with purple and black numbers and trim and literally black helmets. Now, what do you think will be the keys to this game, Joey, as far as these two teams battling? I'm sure a lot of them know each other, especially through other leagues and other places. So what do you think will be the combative issue here?
I think that the Vikings are going to have to be able to play defense, solid defense against the Sharks offense, which is a high-powered offense here. That's going to be the key, how strong the defense for the Vikings show up tonight.
It'll be Raquan Gibson and Trevin Blakey who are standing to return to kickoff. Referee about to blow his whistle as soon as everything is set into play. The 1-4 Central Jersey Vikings, the 4-1 Jersey Sharks, about ready to get underway here at Edison High School. Referee blows his whistle. And as the kicker approaches the tee, here we go. As the kickoff is high, and it looks like it's going to be heading to Gibson. No, the up man's going to be Blakely. Blakely will take it to about the 15, tries to get through another tackle, and he is thrown down very quickly. Doesn't even get the 20-yard line. Looks like a good stop on the part of Derek Harden playing special teams. So the Vikings will begin 1st and 10. I believe they're going to start at about the 19-yard line.
That's like the 19, yep.
Well, this is actually, just to let our viewers know, this is the first game I'm doing with glasses on. and So I mean, yeah. In order to be trying to be accurate, you have to have your eyes open, regardless of where you wear glasses or not.
Yeah.
But the reality is, this will be a little bit different for me. So, like I said, I'll do my best, and Joey will take care of me, of course.
I will
Catch me on a
definitely
couple of
help you
things.
out there, young man.
Indeed, so. All right, so 1st and 10, the Central Jersey Vikings and the Road Whites about to start from the 19. And by the way, the 6 is the quarterback. The quarterback we have listed here is Justin Mulligan. Looks like he is now with the team. The 6 we have is Justice Brister. So, we'll check it out. Oh, it is 3, I beg your pardon. That would be Devin Gardner then, out of New Brunswick. So we'll call Gardner for now until we hear otherwise, but we have a flag, and it's going to be a delay of game penalty already against the Vikings, so not necessarily the start that head coach George Lowe wants.
I don't think so. I think they might have gotten the play in a little too late, and they took their time about getting set. A little confusion in the huddle there, but I mean, let's hopefully they get it straightened out and get moving here.
All right, so for the Vikings, they will have it 1st and 15 now from their own 14-yard line. It's very nice to be doing football again as we lead into the brunt of football season. There's so many different leagues, so many different levels. Nice to have football back, even though the League of All Leagues have been going on for a good month now. Now we're getting to full swing. All right, Gardner under center, and it looks like a broken play trying to go up the middle, and it's not going to be for much, maybe a yard to the 15-yard line. I'm willing to bet that Gardner tried to call his own number, and he just ran into a defensive wall.
It looked like that. He might have called his own number. Ran into a big wall there. Number 6, Justin Hayes, was in on the play there to make a tackle. So, the defense for the Sharks is really good. They got a lot of good players up on there. So we'll see how the Vikings do. What's this offensive line going to do? Are they going to hold up here?
And let's also not forget, there's veteran leadership on both sides of the ball for the Sharks, especially offensively and defensively. I mean, the pieces might have been replaced here and there, but the leadership still continues. Now it's a matter of raising the level of play. All right, on 2nd and 14, back to pass, having to scramble a couple of times, and now lobbing it incomplete. They went in the direction of Raquan Gibson, but the Sharks were just swarming around Devin Gardner, who just didn't know which way to go, and he finally threw it away and forces 3rd and 14.
Yes, he had a lot of pressure on him in that play there. I mean, the offensive line didn't hold at all. The catch just came straight through. He tried his best to get out of the pocket and make a play, but he overthrew the receiver. So, maybe next time he'll be able to take the ball and try running with it maybe and get some positive yards.
It's a matter of the Vikings also running their routes with direct cohesion and making sure everyone's on the same page, because timing is everything. And when somebody's off with the timing, which seems to happen a lot, this is where teams who struggle end up in these 3rd and long situations. So here's Gardner now in the shotgun from the 15, 3rd and 14 with a back to his right, basically a pro set, 2 receivers each side. He'll take the snap, bobbles it for a moment. Pass is caught at Actually,
dropped.
He ended up dropping the ball. It was Trevin Blakely, the intended receiver, who looked like he caught it, but he got jarred very quickly, and the ball dropped down, and it's ruled incomplete.
Big hit by the corner, came up and knocked the ball out. So now we're forced on 4th down. Now they're forced to punt. See what happens here.
Well, they actually counted this as a completion, but it's actually going to be a loss on the play of 2 yards. So backed it up to the 13. So might have been a quick whistle, but it ends up being a 2-yard loss, and it looks like the Vikings will have to punt on this 4th down. Looks like a Darrell Brown out of Union High School. He will be the one that'll be standing at about the probably 2-3 yard line. He's making sure all of his players are correctly on the field and lined up. Returner standing at the midfield stripe. And we will await the punt here on 4th down. There was a lot of movement before the snap, and even the snap was a ground ball. So we'll see who moved and what. So penalty flags down, and it's going to be a false start against the Vikings. So that backs them up way back to about the 8-yard line. You could tell the right side seemed like everyone was moving before the ball got going.
It did seem like everyone jumped prior to the snap. Nobody's looking at the ball apparently to see when it snapped. We're hearing the cadence the up guy, but we'll see. Let's see if he gets this off.
Well, unfortunately for Darrell Brown, he'll be standing literally halfway in the back in the end zone, so he's going to need to get a booming kick and get a couple of nice bounces on the Edison High School turf to kind of flip the field a little bit. He's got to get a good snap. He does. They're coming, and he ends up throwing the ball. And he's tackled. I've never seen this before. They try to fake punt in the end zone. They throw a completion, and he was tackled in the end zone for 2 points.
I don't know if that was by design, but if it was, that was a horrible call. Because
that's one of the most bizarre things I have ever seen in my years of broadcasting. A fake punt that turns into a completed pass for a safety.
I felt that he was a little too close to the line of scrimmage to begin with. I felt that he should have been further back into the end zone, but he was too close.
Joey, let's check the replay, see what exactly happened there. And you definitely look at the penetration from the Jersey Sharks there.
Yeah, the right side of the defensive line looked like he got through really quick and disrupted him. He wasn't able to get the ball off. But if you see what I'm saying, he looks like he's in midway of the end zone instead of getting back to the line. Yeah.
Well, it was a high snap, too.
Yep, it was a high snap, and they did get through on that right side very easily.
And the one who caught the ball was Marcus Tominus, and he ended up losing 8 yards. So it was an 8-yard completion. So the passing game has lost 10 yards already and given up 2 points.
Wow.
So those of you wondering, those of you first-timers watching football, a safety means 2 points for the defense. And what happens then is the offense then free kicks to the defense, whether it be by kickoff, punt, or free kick, whatever they want to do.
Okay.
So that's why the Jersey Sharks will get with a 2-point start and a couple of their returners back at around the 30-yard line. So, I mean, I've seen some interesting plays in semi-pro in many, many years, but wow. So they'll reset up, and the Sharks will get their first attempt here.
Well, let's see if the Vikings can get back on defense now and do something defensively-wise. Maybe they can spark the offense and give it some energy. Let's see what happens here.
All right, Darrell Brown will be the one who will free kick from the 20. And he actually went a yard over, so thus the penalty flag. Caught about the 42-yard line, running around to midfield and trying to get a block. That's Kennedy, and he'll escape again, crossing the 40. He's crossing to about the 30, but there's an illegal block. Yeah, there's an illegal block, too. And Kennedy's going to go all the way and score, but I don't think there's going to be a score. So there are two flags on the play. First, there's definitely an offside against the Vikings because the free kick happened 1 yard past the 20-yard line. And then on the return, there had to have been an illegal block somewhere. Correct. Or a hold. We'll see what the officials decide. That's going to take a couple minutes here. So why don't we take a second and let you know about the U.S. Army, which proudly sponsors Jersey Sharks football. Of course, the U.S. Army's mission is vital to our country because they're the service capable of defeating enemy ground forces and indefinitely seizing and controlling those things that an adversary prizes most: its land, resources, and its population. So whether you're interested in Army Reserve, active duty, or other possibilities, you can explore lots of possible Army careers and contact an Army recruiter, and you can get started today by visiting GoArmy.com. Again, GoArmy.com. So what exactly happened while I read the sponsor?
Well, it's offsides on the kicking team and a personal foul on the receiving team, so the penalties are going to offsides. I believe they're going to re-kick.
So there's no 5-15 rule in this situation. We just re-kick from the 20-yard line.
Hopefully he doesn't pass the line again and he gets a good kickoff.
Always field awareness is critical no matter what part you're doing as far as the game goes, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams. You got to make sure you're kicking in the right spot. So let's just say the last 3 minutes did not happen, and we'll re-kick again, if necessary, from the 20-yard line. It's Darrell Brown out of Union High School, who ended up throwing a completed pass, which ended up landing in the end zone for a safety. Now he's going to try and free kick it. He was able to kick it to about the opponent's 40. Let's see if he can get another boomer there as the two returners are standing, I would say, around the 38. Now the referee blows the whistle. We will try it again. This time it's a better kick. And it's knocked down, and there's a loose
Fumble.
football, and the
Vikings
Vikings going to recover at the 43-yard line. Talk about a way of stealing field position
There
in
it
an
is.
unusual fashion. You're down 2-0, and now you get the ball back at your own 43.
That's correct.
The one to recover it was Joshua Corsi out of Monmouth University. What a job by him. Great awareness. I don't understand. One of the upbacks was trying to catch it. He ends up knocking it down, and you don't know where the ball's going to bounce the way it
Right,
should.
exactly. He jumped up in the air to get the ball, and it came out of his hand, and then the lineman tried to jump on it, which he was supposed to do, but didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, let's take a look at what happened here. This is a high pop. Now watch what he does. He knocks it down. I don't know why he chose to do that. That would be Alexander Rakumba, who was able to knock it down. If you let it go, it goes out of bounds. It's, 25, 30 yards in the spot of the kick?
I believe so, yeah. But the lineman tried his best to get on the ball, but he wasn't able to.
All right, well, the Sharks find themselves back on defense again, and now clear false start on the left side of the Vikings line, right as 1st and 10 was about to happen, as the penalties are already piling up in the early going in this contest. So back to 1st and 15 from the 38-yard line. And
listen, he went off sides. He rushed to get off the line of scrimmage. I understand, you want to make something happen. You got to give him an opportunity, but you need to wait for the count. You should know the count. You're coming out the huddle. You know what the count is. Look down the line. Look at the ball, or just keep your ears open.
Well,
Here we come. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Devin Gardner pointing everyone out in position. You're on 1st and 15. This is going to be a handoff around the right side, a little bit of misdirection. Ends up being a 3-yard pickup to the 41-yard line. A good run on the part of Isaiah Walker out of Caldwell University.
Hey, he made a nice cutback on that play. He was able to get positive yards. It looked like he wasn't going to be able to get anything there, and he made something out of it at least. Didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, but he got a couple of yards back.
He's able to get to about 2nd and 12 from the 41-yard line. And, Joey, you have all these people more like in a spread format here. And if you're the Vikings, I mean, what are you thinking about doing, trying to take advantage of the situation?
I mean, when they're in the spread, I would assume they try to get the ball out to one of the receivers, but their offensive line is not holding their water at the moment. They're not. So, maybe a quick screen will help out or something here. Who knows?
Well, they got 4 receivers. They trip on the left. Here is Gardner back to pass. Has a little time. Looks to run, and he's going to go down.
Get over here.
And, oh, wait a minute. There's a fumble, too. And I think the Sharks may have gotten it.
No.
The officials haven't decided yet.
No
At the end of the play, it looked like there was a Shark which had the football, but the play might have blown dead before the ball came out. So they'll discuss. I mean, that was actually a nice play, and they're going to make sure they have everything right. So just an official timeout.
Hey, you can see that they're discussing it, but I mean, if they really didn't see it, then it should be blown dead, and that should be the call. No fumble. Let's see what they go with.
It is Sharks ball. How about that? Wow. So the Sharks end up forcing a turnover after ending up muffing the ensuing kickoff. So what exactly happened here, Joey?
Let's take a look and see. I think he was just trying to fight for too many yards rather than going down. And let's take a look.
Well, you'll notice about the defense attacking here.
All right, yep. He gets through. The lineman strips it, looks like, from behind. The big lineman, and it's out.
And it ended up being recovered on the part of Charles Faulkner out of William Patterson. He was the one who came away with it and ends up forcing the Sharks turnover, and they have their first possession of the game in plus territory at the Viking 38-yard line.
Right now, the Vikings are their own worst enemy at the moment. They do one thing positive and they do another thing negative. We got to see, once again, how the defense steps up to this offense now. Let's see what happens here.
All right, and you know that a lot of veteran leadership, especially in the receiver position. And, of course, another veteran quarterback, Emmanuel Cabasa, now in. He'll be standing in an offset eye. And he'll look to call the play here, 1st and 10 from the Viking 38-yard line. And not sure exactly what the delay is. So they're trying to make sure everybody is in place here. Emmanuel Cabasa, longtime quarterback, of course, for a semi-pro, and of course with a number of with other teams, and especially the Jersey Sharks, where he's been the last few years. So he can be streaky, but let's see what Cabasa can do in this situation. On 1st and 10. Play fake. Look, he's going to go the whole way. Left side. It is caught, and it's a goal.
Touchdown.
Welcome to the end zone. A tremendous catch by Derek Carden. They went for the home run, and it went over the fence. Derek Carden from 38 yards out. And that extends the lead for the Jersey Sharks.
Yeah, Sharks tested the defense right away, right off the line of scrimmage. They saw that he was man-to-man on his own out here, and he ran just a straight fly. The defender was there with him, didn't get the chance to turn his head around at the right time. It was pretty good close coverage, but it was a great catch by the receiver.
Derek Carden, who is one of the veterans for the Sharks, I mean, he makes some scintillating catches, and that one, tremendous concentration on one-on-one coverage. Now, something a little bit of a twist here in this league of all leagues. If you kick an extra point, it's worth double. So that means 2 points. I'm guessing if I go for a conversion, it's just 1 point. So the values of the points are backwards for conversions. So in a way, it's like Pop Warner if you follow that. So kicking the double extra point is Jacob Hetner. I think Zarina will be holding. But before the kick, there is another flag. And it's going to be a false start against the Sharks this time. So the extra points are going to be it'll be a 38-yard extra points try. Interesting. How do you say a plural in this league? And Joey, have you ever been involved with other places which have had like a 2-point extra point situations?
Never. This is the first to me. I didn't even know that this was the league rule here, actually. So this is different. It's something different, actually. You know, I mean, don't know why they implemented this rule and to make it.
I think it's that to promote kicking.
Okay.
Again, it's Hepner to try the extra point. This is a 38-yard extra point. Or points. The snap kick on its way, and he gets them both. The kick is good for 2 points to make it a 10-0 lead for the Jersey Sharks. I'll tell you what, that a little bit crazy to see that. I mean, you think.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jacob Hedner, who's from ESU, I'm not sure exactly where, but he was able to get through just around the left upright. So while we check that touchdown catch again by Derek Carden, they went for the home run. They convert. What do you think Cabasa saw?
Once again, what I saw that this defense is there in the high one with man on the coverage, and the receiver just made a good move to the outside, and Manny saw him and just took off. Like I said, it was good coverage. He just made a great catch on it. Defender couldn't make a tackle just before the end zone.
And I think it was Ronald Moore on coverage for the Vikings. He just couldn't quite bring him down, and Carden slipped out, and it was an easy score.
Yeah, he tried. He tried his best to get there. I mean, he was there. Like I said, the defender was in good position, would have made a tackle, but just didn't get there.
Okay, so the Sharks will kick off. And, of course, now with that 10-0 lead, we'll see if the Vikings can respond here. Raquan Gibson is back for the Vikings, as well as Blakey. Obviously, the Vikings with a big challenge here and following a safety and then a turnover to follow, even though they were able to convert off a special teams play, just has not worked so far because of the attacking Jersey Shark defense. This time, Blakey, actually, it was a lateral going over to Gibson, and Gibson escapes to about the 30-yard line and gets tackled just across that. So it turned out Blakey had it, but lateral to Gibson, and Gibson, I guess with a little bit more speed, went down the far sideline and got to about the 31.
Pretty good return there. I mean, there was one guy. If he breaks that tackle, he may get another 15, 20 yards if he doesn't go further upfield with the ball. I mean, because it was like a shoestring tackle almost there, so he got lucky.
Well, sometimes it happens, and it's a matter of getting the right opening at the right time. And as soon as you have that, you can go a long way because things happen so quick in this game if you're not ready for it.
Yeah, and special teams has been a big deal for the Vikings. I mean, a lot of their points have come off of special teams in the past games, so they look for their special teams to be big for them.
Well, we'll see if their offense can make up for that. It is 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Once again, quarterback Devin Gardner
1st and 10.
coming in. Looks like he's going to have a double setback. His fullback is Anthony Lee. Looks like an offset eye situation here. All right, so from the 31 on 1st and 10, they'll go at an inside handoff. Nearly got slowed up and now pushing. Not going to be for very much. It might be a yard to about the 32-yard line.
Let's see. The defense came up big. The linebacker filled the hole really good. I mean, came up just like you're supposed to. You see the hole, you see the window, you go through it, and you fill it so that this way you know the back is coming that way. He made a great play on that. I think he held him for a yard, if not much. It looked like they put the stick back, maybe a half a yard he might have even gained, and that might have been it.
And I think the other thing, too, is knowing if you're able to get through the hole, sometimes you bounce off somebody and then you run into the wrong player, and then you get hit with a bad loss.
Yeah, that's true. But once again, good defense. Let's see what they come up with now.
On 2nd and 9, same offset eye situation. Might be a cover 2 on the defense here. Whoops, somebody jumped.
Flags.
We're not sure who, so we'll see what the official says. No, it's a false start, so back go to Vikings another 5 yards.
Like I said, once again, at this point, they're their worst enemy right now, the offense. They keep getting in their own way. They get a pretty decent run. I mean, it's only a yard or two, but, you start to build on stuff, and then all of a sudden you start taking steps backwards. Not a good thing.
Joey, is it also possible that maybe this offensive line has not worked very long together to try and get the cadence correct?
I believe that may be the problem here, where they have not been together enough to get the cadence right. But, I mean, they do practice. I know they do get out there in the evenings, but, once again, everyone works. You never know what the practice looks like for them. So
could be said for almost anybody in this league. But 2nd and 14. Ball this time at the 27-yard line. Gardner this time will flip this play to Mulligan. And Mulligan, and now late flag comes in at the end of the play.
Late flag.
And that could be a mistake on the part of the Sharks. We'll see if the officials discuss here.
I believe it was. I believe I saw a face mask from up here, but we'll wait to see what the call is.
Yes,
that's
it is
exactly
correct.
What it was.
And a free 1st down, as long as that is correct in this league. That wouldn't matter anyway. But then again, it would be a major penalty unless it's ruled 5. All right, so it is a major penalty, and that's going to be an automatic 1st down for the Vikings. They'll get themselves to the 42-yard line. And the one thing the Vikings need to do is capitalize off the Sharks' mistakes, because remember, they actually, I stand corrected, they moved it to the 32-yard line. So, well, anyway, now it's 2nd and 9. They repeat the down.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we'll get back to it. I think the Sharks are going to be back in the cover 2, and then trying to defend the pass. Not sure why, but we'll see. I mean, they're in a pro set formation right now.
All right, between split backs, 2nd and 9. Ball spotted to 32. Gardner back. Going to take a shot down the field in double coverage and couldn't quite get it incomplete. They went for Raquan Gibson on the far side of the field, but and I think one of the Sharks, that would be Jordan Jones out of Scotch Plains, he was able to close in very quickly and make sure that wasn't caught.
Right. I mean, this time the quarterback had an opportunity to get his feet planted and throw the ball. Threw it for a good number of yards downfield. The receiver had an opportunity, but didn't come down with the ball. But he had great protection. Once again, like you said, they got to be able to capitalize on some of the mistakes that the Sharks make and give them. So.
And George Lowe is also doing a good job recognizing he's been around football too long. He notices the other team just made a big mistake. It's like, take a shot down the field and let's see if we can catch him off guard.
That what I believe is what he probably thought right there in that instance. Let me see if we can catch him sleeping. They don't think we're going to go deep on him. And even though they were in a cover 2, you wouldn't assume that you want to go that route. But like you figured, he might have saw something. Safety not paying attention, looking in the backfield too much, or whatever. So.
All right, well, let's see what happens. Oh, that might be a hard count. Another flag down, so I think the Vikings are able to, they've been trying some things to try and catch the Sharks off guard, and they're trying to discuss as to who jumped. So we'll see how this plays out. Still be third down, but it's going to be a neutral zone infraction
On the
against the
defense.
Sharks. So that's a free 5 yards. That changes the mentality of the play.
Yes.
Instead of a 3rd and 9, which is your short's going to be a pass, now you're going to have a 3rd and 4. It could be either or.
It could be either or. That is true. It could be. Let's see what the Vikings come up with here. What kind of a play he calls out of this 3rd and 4 situation here.
Ball spotted at the 37-yard line. Gardner between split backs again. And wait a second. Do we have a timeout here? Yeah, now the officials say timeout called by the Vikings. So let's take a break here late here in this first quarter. Sharks lead the Vikings 10-0. We'll come back in just a moment.
Is your indoor air working properly? Edison Heating and Cooling is your neighborhood's trusted professional since 1987. Just give a call and a trained comfort advisor will meet with you, do a full inspection, and discuss your options from repair to upgrading to a new high-efficiency system that could save you up to 61% of your energy bill. Our fully trained technicians install and service all systems, including premier Carrier products for both residential and commercial customers. All day, every day, count on Edison Heating and Cooling.
All right, as the Vikings use their first timeout, you just saw a commercial on Edison Heating and Cooling, who are able to provide you with seasoned technicians that have expertly trained to inspect and repair any HVAC system in the town of Edison, New Jersey. Now, if you want more details, you can call them 732-372-4957. You can also email them for more details, info@edisonhvac.com. Again, info@edisonhvac.com, or call 732-372-4957. So as we're back to action and the Sharks leading the Vikings 10-0, the big question here now for the Vikings, and I'm sure George Lowe wants to make sure he gets the right play call out to his players here on 3rd and 4.
Yeah, I think that's why he called the timeout, to see, because he saw that the Sharks came out again in the cover 2. So, I mean, I don't know what he might have seen there, but he had to have seen something to call the timeout. Maybe he wants to get the right play in. Maybe he didn't feel he had the right personnel in the game also. So he might have put somebody else in the game that may hopefully can help them out.
Now, actually, it was, as you mentioned, Joey, that wasn't a bad timeout if that were the case. Let's see how the execution comes into play here on 3rd and 4. Ball spotted at 37. They spread it out back to the right of Gardner, who will be in the shotgun snap.
Blitz.
He takes it. Sharks will delay blitz. Here's a throw up the pike, and the pass looks to be a little short and incomplete.
Pass incomplete. That'll bring up 4th.
And looked like they were heading towards Chandel Broaders out of Shabazz in Newark. Just couldn't quite come up with that. Try to get the fullback involved in that one. That would have been a nice surprise play, but it would have been a little short of a first down.
It still would have been, it still would have been a little short for a first down, because he didn't realize where he was. You're supposed to run your routes past the sticks so that you know, but the ball was underthrown also. I mean, he did have a little bit of time in the pocket again to be able to get the ball off, which is something that the Vikings need to start doing. They need to start giving him some more time, and receivers need to come down with the ball.
Well, punting now for the Vikings again, it's Daniel Ruffin. And trying to see who's back to return for the Sharks, standing about the 35-yard line. He'll take it, nearly juggles the snap, but he gets it away. And here is Devon Blutcher, who will take it around the 35. He reverses gears. Let's see if he has some room to about the 40, and that's about it. That's some good coverage by the Viking special teams there. Fletcher tried to go like 2-3 different directions and only got about a 4-yard return out of it.
Yeah, the Viking, for a moment there, you looked like he was going to get around the end there and take it upfield, but the Vikings managed to hold their ground and corral him right there on the 40-yard line, or 39, I think it is. But good recovery by the defense there. You know, the coverage team, they were able to hold them for minimum yards on the return there.
So even if the Vikings may struggle on offense or defense, it seems like special teams have been coming to play pretty well here in this first quarter.
At the present moment, yeah, that would be it. That they're holding them down. Let's see what the defense does here now. I mean, once again, like I said, is he gonna? Looks like he's gonna come out in the cover 2 this time.
Well, the nose of the ball is literally touching the 40-yard line. So Emmanuel Cabasa, who's had one play so far, and that was that 38-yard touchdown to Derek Carden following a Viking turnover, looking to try and advance things for the Sharks here. He stands in a shotgun between split backs, a receiver on each side. Will take it. It's a sweep on the left.
Ridley.
And it looks like Ridley will get to about the 48 and get a gain of 8 on that. Good stop on the part of Johnny Martin. So 2nd and 2 coming up. And you can tell by the speed of the Sharks, whether it be receivers or the running backs, that the defense is just having a hard time keeping up. And now we have a shaken up Viking. He was up, and then he just went right back down. I don't know if it's a cramp.
It looks like Johnny Martin was the player that went down. He was hobbling, getting off the field, but he couldn't make it all the way off.
So, tell you what, while we take a break, while we have an injury timeout here in the first, Sharks lead the Vikings 10-0. Back with more after this.
If you slip and fall or trip and fall on someone else's property, the first thing you should do is immediately contact an attorney. The site of the incident must be investigated. If there are witnesses, statements need to be taken. We here at Lombardi & Lombardi have a full-time investigator that goes out to the scene of the accident, takes all necessary measurements and photographs, and draws a diagram as to the exact location of your fall. So if you've been involved in a slip and fall or trip and fall on someone else's property, it's important that you contact the law offices of Lombardi & Lombardi immediately, and we'll be happy to give you
It just turned out that the man who made the tackle, Johnny Martin, struggled to get off the field, so he went down, and now he's got a little assistance. So now we're back to action. It's 2nd and 8 actually 2nd and 2 rather, after an 8-yard pickup. Ball spot at the 48-yard line as Cabasa. Wait in an offset eye, go with a handoff, and bounces to about the first down line. We'll see where the officials started. Ridley again. The veteran Raheem Ridley out of Rutgers, who has played on many, many semi-pro teams. Now he's with the Jersey Sharks, and it looks like he's going to be 3rd and about a half a foot.
The defense made a good play there in stopping him, not letting him get the first down. They're going to have to hold it down right now. They're going to have to figure out how to not give him an inch here, because it looks like that's all they need. Let's see what they come up with defensively wise to hold them.
They look to be maybe about a foot short. In that same offset eye, it's 3rd and about half a yard.
Wow.
Up the middle, an easy first down as a big hole came across, and it ends up being a 8-yard pickup all the way to the Viking 42-yard line. So good call on the part of Moore and company, and it moves the chains for the Sharks.
It was a good call. The linebackers were out of position. It looked like they were more inside than they were outside. Ridley just took that off tackle. It looked like for a big gain there of maybe 10 to 12 yards out of it. So
it looks like they're going to be featuring Ridley a lot in this series for the Jersey Sharks. They're already up 10-0. Still late in the first quarter. Keep in mind, official time is kept on the field. That's why we don't have a clock for your service here. So 1st and 10 from the Viking 42. Between split backs is Cabasa on a high snap. They do the handoff. This time crossing the 40. They go to the 30. Still going. 20. All the way down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. A big run by Kelvin White, the running back out of William Patterson. He ends up getting 35 yards to the 7-yard line and forces a 1st and goal.
Great play. He ran the ball, took it to the outside. The defenders, a lot of arm tackling going on there for the Vikings. No one really tried to come up and make a play to make a tackle. Everyone looked like they were trying to arm tackle on this last run here. I don't understand. I mean, it's form tackling. We got to learn to get back to the basics and, make some plays and make some tackles here.
Form and proper tackling. We got a timeout called by the Sharks, so why don't we go ahead and break here again late in the first quarter. Sharks lead 10-0 over the Vikings. Back in just a moment. We're back here in Edison. Sharks knocking on the door again. First and goal. They're going to start about the 7-yard line after a big run by Kelvin White for 35 yards. I mean, they've been using some serious power. Raheem Ridley the first few plays, and now White. I mean, that is a 1-2 punch that's going to make a lot of defenses worn out after a series.
Oh, that's true, and especially if these linebackers are not looking to make tackles, come up and fill and wrap, because both of these backs can really run. So you need to put the pads on them and wrap them.
Well, they got them both in the offset eye here. First and goal from the 7. Here's Cabas. A low snap. Now he's rolling left. He'll take a shot down the field, and it ends up going incomplete. Looked like they had a man reported eligible, and I guess they wanted to do a trick play, and that didn't quite work very well. Like the intended receiver, if you were to believe, was Lee Drew Hurt out of Somerville High School, the guard who was lining up as tackle eligible.
Yeah, I see that. He came out there. He did a nice little route to the outside, but Manny, the bobble really disrupted the timing of the play, and he wasn't able to get it out there to him. But the defense was close. Defense was there too. They weren't too fooled, but I mean, at least, now the Vikings have another opportunity. Let's see what they can do defensively here.
Second and goal from the 7-yard line. Again, the same formation. To the right is White. Flag down. Oh, it looks like a illegal sub foul against the Sharks. May not have had the right personnel or too many personnel on there. So,
yep, that's the guilty guy right there.
Evidently.
Unfortunately, that's the one thing you can't do right there. You're going to get singled out right now. You were the guy. We saw you.
In other words, oops. So, unfortunately, he gets hit with a 5-yard sub foul, and it's second and goal from the 12. So now it's up to the Vikings defense to continue keeping the momentum of the Sharks going backwards after the running game really hit them hard in this drive.
That's right. Sometimes, penalty gives the offense just a little more room to operate, and the defense has to cover a little more yards, So sometimes a penalty like that is good.
They changed the formation, split backs this time. Cabasa gives to Ridley, and it's not going to matter. He is home. Welcome to the end zone. An easy 12-yard score for the veteran Raheem Ridley. He has seen pay dirt many a time in his career. He can add another one to the list as the Sharks extend their lead.
Yeah, he took that right off tackle and just went right into the end zone. He had to make one small cut and get in there, but Raheem Ridley is an amazing back still.
How long has he been playing for?
I can't even tell you. I mean, forever. He's been playing forever, but he's still in phenomenal shape. He still reads. He's in phenomenal shape, takes really good care of himself. Someone said that Moses was his coach when he started playing football. But, yeah, Raheem Ridley, he's amazing still.
That or Charlton Heston, the way that that right side of the line just parted open for Raheem to run through.
Exactly. That would have been more like it. Yeah, Charlton Heston, he parted the Red Sea for him.
All right, here's Jacob Hedner trying the extra points. The snap, kick on its way. This time it didn't work. It's no good.
The kick is no good.
So we'll replay the touchdown. 16-0 Sharks over the Vikings. And you'll understand what I'm talking about in regards to the right side. And Raheem Ridley wide open. You'll see him on the left of Cabasa.
Yeah, they kicked out. Yeah, there was no one on that right side of the line, it looks like, for the defense. No one even filled over there. They had one guy playing the end. It didn't even look like they had any defensive tackle or end there. That doesn't Doesn't make sense to me.
I think, too, the Vikings lost track of their lanes. And obviously, you hear from the former Eagle, now Kansas City Chief head coach Andy Reid, always talks about defense staying in their lanes. And we see a lot of juxtaposition going from lane to lane and not being in position.
That is
and
true.
the Sharks are definitely taking advantage of
What
that.
happened? Yeah, it's a gap control defense, what he's trying to run, and obviously someone was not in their gap that they should have been in, and been able to fill that. But I don't know the way that was run. I don't know if anybody could have filled that gap. They opened that hole so wide.
All right, so the Sharks will kick off here late in the first quarter, and the Vikings are once again keeping Blakey and Gibson back and see if they can try and pull off some special teams magic. That's the one positive we've seen and one strength from the Vikings, their special teams. They've actually done pretty well here in this first quarter. Let's see what they can do here as the kickoff looks like it's going to head towards Blakey, and he'll take it at about the 7-yard line. He will cut left. He has a haul, crossing the 20, crossing the 30, and slam down to 36-yard line. So a nice return, about 29 yards there. And now the Vikings will give it another try.
Once again, special teams is big for them. They do well there. It's pretty decent field position that they just got right now. So question is, what is the offense going to do with it? What's the play call going to be to get them downfield and get them across the 50 at least in this drive coming up?
Well, we'll see what happens here with the Vikings as they try again. I know they're trying offensively. They are trying to find some answers. Yes, George Lowe is trying to come up with some different ideas and such, but it just has not happened yet for them. But you never know. As they always say, one play is all it takes to turn the momentum of a game around. But now, and Gardner was counting people, and it turns out they counted too many. So a sub foul against the Vikings, so that backs it up 5 yards.
You
can see Gardner was just pointing. All of a sudden, the flag goes.
They're having trouble with 11. They figure maybe 12 might help them out.
I think both teams are.
So we got a penalty here, the same penalty, but Vikings really need to settle down on offense and do something. They need to get some kind of positive yards here, and come up with a play or two that gives them some momentum to at least, yeah.
You know what? They may also switch quarterbacks here possibly and see if they can get some momentum. And here. And every game they had number 6, who is listed here as Justice Brister. He was a quarterback, and I guess they are putting him back in here for this one. But he's been hurt. So, all right, well, speaking of which, there he goes. He's going to get a run to about the 39. Actually, I stand corrected. That is Gardner.
Yeah.
So Gardner stays in, and he ends up getting 3, and he kind of showed the speed a little bit there.
Yeah, he did. It was a pretty good call. Look, it showed the defense. It showed the defense over aggressiveness. They went for the fake, and he was able to just come back with the ball on the read, and he didn't give it and came off the end on that. So once again, he took advantage of the Sharks defense being real aggressive.
So it's a 3-yard game for Gardner, who I believe is in for Brister, who I believe got hurt in the last game because Brister had been the quarterback throughout the season for the Vikings, but not tonight evidently. So 2nd and 7, ball spot at the 40-yard line. So we'll see what Gardner has with his skill set to get them down the field. Back to pass, has some time, looking, now going right. Pocket collapses, and the pass is incomplete. They went towards Trevon Blakey, who couldn't quite come up with it. I mean, it was a good idea, but it just didn't work.
Well, he tried. He got out the pocket. He had some pressure. He was able to elude the pressure and get outside, but the receiver wasn't able to get back close enough to be able to make a catch on that.
So now Blakey's gonna wait for the quarterback Gardner to come back. And Devin Gardner is from New Brunswick, just so people know here. Trying to get the play call from head coach Lowe and then try and deliver it. So let's see what happens here on 3rd and 7 from the 40-yard line. Let's see what Gardner does.
Looks like the Sharks are back in the cover 2 again.
And it looks like an offset eye again for the Vikings. But I think we have quarter time because I didn't see a flag.
Timeout.
It's a timeout call by the Vikings. I didn't see any flags go down. I thought, hey, maybe we got quarter time, but I guess not. So while we take another commercial, 16-0 Sharks over the Vikings. We'll be back in a moment. Believe it or not, folks, we are still in the first quarter. It is 16-0 Sharks over the Viking following a timeout by the Vikings. They're down to 1 here in the first half. Not sure what they might be discussing here, but I think they're trying to make sure they get a big 3rd and 7 play. I mean, just keep in mind, folks, official time is kept on the field, so we did start, 10 after 7, and we're nearing 8 o'clock in the East for some of our viewers who might be in other time zones. We had to consider that we don't know how much time is left according to the head official. So we'll try it again. 3rd and 7. Ball spotted at the 40-yard line. Gardner making sure everybody's in the right spot in the shotgun. He awaits the snap. There it is. Goes back, has a little time. Now the rush comes. They fire, and the pass is thrown away incomplete. They went toward Raquan Gibson out of Ewing High School. Couldn't quite come up with it, and it forces a 4th and 7. I'll be interested to see if the Vikings decide to punt here.
He was open. The receiver was open. The defender played the soft zone. It was a good call, but, it wouldn't have gotten them the first down anyway, but it would have given them a little more breathing room for the punter to be able to punt. But it was a good call. It just didn't connect with him. He overthrew the receiver. The receiver was open.
I think George Lowe is coming up with some very nice schemes to get the players in a better position to succeed, but unfortunately the execution just has not been there.
That would be the issue right now. Execution right now is not happening for the Vikings at the moment.
Obviously, Lowe and Moore have been around for a very long time, so they know what to expect from their team, so they kind of have the feeling of the game. And we had a quick official timeout. I'm not sure what, but once again, punting will be a Daniel Ruffin. He is standing up at the 25-yard line. And it's a 2-hopper, and he's got a pump fake. And let's see what he does. He's going to run it. He's going to get a block and get the midfield on the first down. The second punt, fake punt, this time it works. The last time was a completion for a safety. This time, it's a first down to the 49 of the Sharks. And now we're finally at quarter time, and what seemed to take a long time, but it did. We have finished 1 here in Edison. The Sharks lead the Vikings 16-0. Quarter number 2 comes your way after this. Back here for quarter number 2 here from Edison High School. I'm Tom Wilkins along with Joey Pagan. Howard Gaber taking care of the controls as always. Sharks with an impressive first quarter, leading 16-0 as we're about ready to start quarter number 2. We've flipped the field, and the Sharks will be moving left to right and the Vikings right to left. A very gutsy call by Daniel Ruffin, calling a fake punt and running all the way for a gain of 11 and a first down to keep the Vikings offense on the field, their first down of the game, actually.
Well, it was a great fake. They called it at the right time. Once again, Sharks defense is over aggressive. They're just coming and they're coming, because they're getting pressure all the time. So it's a good thing, you call a fake right now, and obviously it worked out well for them.
All they had to do was break through the first line, and that worked out pretty well for the Vikings. All right, Gardner takes the snap on 1st and 10. They're all coming. The pass is a catch. It's caught by Raquan Gibson. They're going to spot it at the 44. That's a 5-yard pickup. Good hands by Gibson, able to tiptoe and get by the defender, who I believe was Jordan Jones.
Once again, the Sharks defense came with a blitz off the backside there on the left side. The Vikings picked it up, and it was great, protection for him, and he was able to connect with the receiver on the wide side of the field, which is a good throw. Hard throw to make, but he made it.
Well, Gardner, he got out to a very shaky start, but it seems like he's starting to get a little more comfortable in the position he's in. It's just a matter of reading the defenses, which I think is the big thing here, maybe getting the running game going a little bit. But down 16-0, you look like you're going to be passing more than you're running anyway. Let's see what happens as Gardner, speaking of a run, trying to go up middle and not much. That might only get back to the line of scrimmage.
He was met by a host of Sharks there. Everybody was there. He managed to get maybe a yard out of that, I think, which is a whole lot considering what kind of defense that was there. Everybody was there.
Sounded like they were being surrounded by a bunch of all-star Sharks, Dolphins, and wild piranhas or something.
Yeah, it was just everybody was there. I was surprised that he managed to get a yard out of that.
Anyway, 3rd and 5 from the 44-yard line. Let's see what Gardner decides to do. It's going to be, looks like a alternate play here. They spread with a single back here as Gardner about ready to take the mini shotgun snap, and he'll pitch it out. The back turns around and loses the football, and it's recovered by the Sharks. I believe that was Corey Jones out of Union County College who fell on it at the 45-yard line. Obviously, a lot of miscues and misdirection, and the play. We'll just say that was a jet sweep that had no fuel in it.
None whatsoever. It didn't look well from the beginning. The defensive end had gotten penetration on that play, so it looked like it was going to be blown up anyway. But let's look at it again on replay. Let's see here.
Yeah, it looked like as soon as the back slipped on the pitch out, that's where everything went totally wrong, as you'll see here.
Let's see. Yeah, you see, he came right through
the entire
there.
Back. And after the play, personal foul against the Vikings, it's going to be half the distance. All back first down for the Sharks.
Yeah, that was something else. I didn't see what that personal foul was, but it did obviously through on the sideline there, and he managed to break a tackle and get upfield and get more yards out of that, get another 5 to 6 yards. That seems to be the problem with the Vikings, is their tackling ability. They're not tackling well at the moment.
Well, the officials are discussing along the near sideline with the Shark coaches as to what happened here. And they haven't spotted the ball unless the penalty's against the Sharks and nobody told us about it.
That might have been it.
Yeah, it's a personal foul. But I thought it was going to be 15 yards to the 20-yard line. Instead, they had the ball back at the midfield stripe.
ball is being.
Oh, okay. So they
It's a
are.
spot foul.
So it is a spot foul, and it is against the Sharks. So they are going to spot it at the midfield stripe. But this happened after the play was over. So this is going. So I would have to think they'd move the sticks here, and they are.
For the Sharks.
So eventually they'll move. There we go.
Yeah,
So let's
got
just
it.
pretend we're doing 1st and 10 all over again, just 4 yards behind where we were on the last
Exactly.
play.
Well, once again, let's see what the Vikings defense can do. These guys need to stop and settle down and break down and make tackles. They're just trying to make these arm tackles and not doing anything.
All right, here's the snap. Kabasa ready, throws left. Pass is caught at about the 48, and a good tackle, 47-yard line, caught by Derek Carden. Carden, of course, with a touchdown reception in the first quarter. This time, he's able to pick up about 2.
Yeah, this time the defender was close, and he was able to grab him and make a play on that, which is good. You understand? Like I said, I don't know what's going on, but I mean, it's still a positive gain for the Sharks. But the defense now looks to be settling down. I'm hoping that they can, settle down a little more and make more plays, defensively, because I mean it's just been horrible at the moment as far as tackling goes.
Well, at least on the last play, that was a good tackle to make sure Carden didn't get any further yardage, because he can break one, as we saw earlier. So now, Kabasa with a back to his right and a shotgun. They spread out. 2nd and 8 from the 48-yard line. There will take the snap. Looking, quick throw, pass caught at the 37, and trying to break through at about the 30, down to the 27-yard line. A 1st down and a catch by Dwan Carr out of Neptune. Name I haven't touched on yet, and Dwan able to come up with a gain of 21. And I meant to tell you that the Sharks are playing without Lance Fisher, who is the leading receiver for the team and for the league of all leagues. Not sure exactly, I don't know exactly what happened there, but unfortunately, him not being there has allowed other players to step up. Carden has done it, and Carr just did with a 21-yard pickup. His 1st and 10 as the ball is at the 27-yard line. So now, Kabasa back in between split backs. They send a man in motion to the right. So it's a 3-wide slot right situation. Kabasa looking at a hard count here. Now he's overlooking. He takes a step back. I guess he's audibleizing and changing the play up a bit.
And they read the defense.
A low ground ball snap. He lost the ball. It's still loose, and I think Kabasa finally fell on it at about the 32-yard line. Ends up losing 5 on the play and forces a 2nd and 15. So obviously a case of miscommunication and a bad snap on top of that.
He got lucky that he was able to recover it, because he looked like he went to jump on the ball. He thought he was on it, and it wasn't, apparently. And then he said, oh, shit, he grabbed the ball and pulled it back.
Oh,
excuse the language.
Whoops. Anyway.
Holy cow, I didn't land on the ball.
Either that or you were doing the Phillies a commentary when Bryce Harper was hit by a pitch late in June. But anyway. It's a 6-yard loss, and it's 2nd and 16 from the 33-yard line. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to do in a broadcast like this. But Kabasa's in the shotgun. He goes spreading out here, back to the right. Kabasa takes it, goes back, looking, has time, takes a shot left. That pass is caught at about the 25, maybe the 24. And once again, it's Carr with a catch. Dwan Carr is out of Neptune, New Jersey, and he was able to pick up some yardage there. Oh, actually, they're going to rule it incomplete. He juggled it as he went out of bounds, so never mind. It's incomplete. Couldn't quite see on the far side.
Obviously, this roster is number 17 and number 19 got different names on it. Yeah.
Well, that's why we end up having the as current stats or players as we possibly can. Hey, remember, things sometimes change to the last minute before games with uniform numbers and stuff. Been there a million times. But anyway, it's 3rd and 16 from the 33-yard line. So the first real 3rd and long situation for the Jersey Sharks. as they seem to be. What do you call on this one?
I'm going to call another pass to one of the receivers, number 19 again, who seems to be the guy who's getting open the most on this play here. But the Vikings are still in the cover one, it looks like. I mean, they're disguising their two, possibly, but I mean, they're not getting any pressure. So I believe he's going to pass the ball on this.
Well, it's not going to happen yet because somebody jumped to blow the play dead. And it's going to be a neutral zone infraction against the Vikings. So 3rd and 17 just became 3rd and 12. Might have been a hard count by Cabasa. It's an easy way to get a free 5 if you're not ready for it. So typical Aaron Rodgers play, if you want to call it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, once again, that was a good call by him. He called the Vikings jumping off sides. Let's see what they can do. Once again, like I said, the Vikings defense just at this moment seems to still be a little flat. They're making some plays and they're doing stuff, but they just still seem to be a little flat. Their defensive line is not getting any pressure whatsoever. In order to help the secondary, they need to get more pressure.
Let's see if they can bring it. On 3rd and 11, back goes Cabasa looking, going to throw left, pass caught, Carden, and he's out of bounds at the 6. He should have a first down inside the 20. He needed 11. He got 13. And in the red zone, go the Sharks.
Yeah, that's a receiver who knows how to run his route. He played the sticks well. He went just past it a little bit, came back to it, and was able to complete the pass for a first down. The defender was not even close. At least he made the tackle and got him out of bounds.
Well, it was a 15-yard pickup, and once again, this is what happens. You have 3rd and long, you force a penalty, makes it a little easier. They can run the perfect play and have the right player for it, and voila, move the sticks.
Exactly. Once again, it was a great route by the receiver. Great route, great pass, great catch. The defender was able to get there in time to prevent from anything else going on, whether he makes it to the end zone or not. But let's see what they call here.
Well, Carden obviously has had a very good game so far. And let's see what happens here. They look like it might go full house here. First and 10 from the 16-yard line. Which person's going to get the ball? There's a flag down in the meantime as the handoff looked like it was Ridley. But let's see what the penalty is all about. That might also be an offside against the Vikings. That's the early indication here, but the officials will tell us in a moment exactly what it is. It's also possible they might have not had the right personnel on the field. And keep in mind, with each team only having one timeout left in the half. Oh, the Sharks have 2. I beg your pardon. No, the Vikings have 1. So the officials discussing. Oh, I forgot about the lights. See, Fox even fooled me when it came to the lights with their timeout. So sometimes interior design becomes inferior to my eyes. And it looks like the flag, there might be multiple infractions. Or it could be the same infraction, who done it. It doesn't matter. Somebody did it. But they're discussing. And while they discuss, we'll tell you about Quality Bath, which you probably have seen. Quality Bath, remember, there you'll find the largest collection of premium brand name bath, hardware, kitchen, and lighting. With over 25 years experience in the plumbing industry, Quality Bath has among the industry's most experienced and knowledgeable sales staff. Visit them at qualitybath.com or call them toll-free 800-554-3210. So there were multiple penalties going on. So the 5-yard penalties for the offside, and then after the play, there was a 15-yard personal foul. And away they go back to, I'll tell you what, the person holding the down marker is like, which way do we go, George? Where am I going to land here? So because it happened after the play, it's a net loss of 13 yards. So they're back at about the 28. Actually going to stand to 27. So it is now second and quite a long way from about the 23.
I've never seen that before done like that. But we're going to see what they call here right now. I'm quite sure, he's got a good play call. Let's see what the Vikings do defensively here to stop this.
All right, Cabasa. Oh, now they changed the marker to first down. All right, here's a late throw and a pass and triple coverages. Looked like it was caught. Carden came down with it. At about the
No, it looked like it was intercepted.
Or was it intercept? And now, but then there's a flag down too. Boy, let's check the flag before we sort all this out. We've had a lot of penalty flags here in this first half. Not going to matter because it's holding against the Sharks, and because it's an interception by the Vikings, it is a first down. Let's take a look at what happened here. Cabasa with a tough decision here. What was he doing?
Well, let's see. I mean, it looked like it was trying to get a middle screen of some sort, or at least a slant over the middle. I mean, he might have felt that he had the opportunity to get there.
Well, he did the play fake. Now watch what happens.
Oh yeah, it was a post. It was a post, but the safety and the linebackers were all over that, and the defender, the corner too.
And a great interception by Raquan Gibson, ending up playing both sides of the ball, and that time comes through with a big turnover for the Vikings.
This could be the momentum that the Vikings needed now. You know, maybe they can draw up a little steam here and get some offense going with this. Let's see what happens here.
Well, that's why I said it only takes one play to turn a game possibly around, and that could be it. And if you're looking down the line here, you need 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points, the 2 extra point kicks to tie this game.
Well, let's see. Let's just get, like we said, we got to get some baby steps here. A couple of first downs first. Let's get the ball moving, and let's get the offense rolling and see what happens.
Win a play, win a series, win a drive, and build from there. All right, here's a handoff going around the right side, crossing about the 10, not getting much further than that. And it was odd. They sent Anthony Lee in motion as a blocker in that particular play. So looks like George Lowe is throwing out everything and the kitchen sink when it comes to the playbook.
Looks like he's opening up the playbook and going to the back of it too, just to make sure that he gets it covered.
I might go on to a previous volume.
Yeah, I think I know that volume.
That it's probably dusted up.
Yeah.
Very possible. It might have been a version from 10 years ago. I don't know. But in any case, it ends up going for no gain, and it's 2nd and 10. Ball spotted at, I guess we're going to say the 12-yard line.
See, with the Sharks defense being so aggressive and, over pursuing somewhat, you would think a couple of play actions or some kind of ball fake really good would get them off, and be able to, get some positive yards for the offense.
Well, let's see what Devin Gardner does here in the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Once again, they're sending Lee in motion to the right back. The pass being chased, running. He'll have to fire it. And the pass is intercepted at about the 20-yard line to the 10, to the 5, and it looks like a pick 6, but there's no signal for the officials.
And there it is. Touchdown. There it is.
And I think that was Quate Nesmith out of Monroe College who came away with that one. The other two is Tom Zarino, the backup quarterback. I don't think that was him. Hey, we got his name on the air at least, but it was Quate Nesmith out of Monroe College. Ends up coming through with the pick 6. Might end up getting some lottery tickets later.
It was a great play by the safety there. He rolled. He saw the quarterback rolling right. He figured, he's not going to throw across his body. Came down, saw the receiver open and made a good break on the ball and was able to go for the pick 6.
Well, I think the other thing, too, let's not forget, that when Gardner threw the ball, it was like 2 Sharks, and there was no other receiver in that area. So that made it for a real – we'll take a look at the replay after the conversion. And now the other two, Zarino is going to it's going to hold for Jacob Hetner, who is 1 for 2 in extra point attempts. And so let's see what happens here. They're set. It's funny. They're set for the 2-point extra point, and the lines aren't quite set down to snap the ball yet. I guess that tells you cohesion goes a long way. Here's the snap. Kick on its way, and it hit the upright. Doink! So, unfortunately for Hetner, he's 1 for 3, but it's 22-0 in favor of the Sharks over the Vikings. Let's see how that pick 6 happened along the far side for Quate Nesmith. And keep your eye when the quarterback Gardner throws, and there's just nothing but blue around that he's throwing to.
All right, let's see. He gets the snap. Good pressure by the defensive end right off the end there. He rolls right, and he throws the ball. It looked like there was one receiver there, but he underthrew the receiver.
Big time.
He underthrew the receiver, and the safety was right there, was able to make the catch and take it right away into the end zone. Good play by the safety.
Yeah, that was 5 yards underthrown, and that's why Naismith undercut it, and he was able to bring it home for a pick six. And that's why we're at 22-0, and the Vikings will try and get this again. So far, technically, here's something to consider. Technically, the Sharks have scored in all three phases of their game. They've scored on offense, on defense, and technically, that 2-point safety at the beginning of the game, that was a special teams play. That was a fake punt that didn't quite work out so well for the Vikings.
Right. Well, listen, I mean, he underthrew the receiver. It would have been, if he would have thrown the ball a little harder, maybe a little further downfield, that might have been the touchdown, because I don't think there was anybody behind the receiver there, too. So, just little things that they need to work on.
All right. So here we go with the kickoff. As Hedner approaches the tee, a high kick. Looks like it's going to go in Blakey's direction. He'll take it about the 15. Run to the right. He looked a lateral, but instead he takes a fall to 25-yard line. It was a good tackle on the part of Alexander Akumba, who brought him down. And so the Vikings will try it again. 1st and 10 for the 25.
Once again, I mean, the special teams was big for the Vikings, but this time they didn't do much on as far as return and getting some good field position for the offense.
So we'll see if Gardner has another set of plays here. And really the only thing you can do is just keep trying, because eventually something's got to break.
Yeah.
You might have a blown coverage somewhere. You may have something go where you can take full advantage of it, but that window of opportunity does not come for a very long time.
It does not. And, with the Sharks being so disciplined on defense, it's rare that you're going to get any kind of blown coverages with them. So, I mean, any time you can take advantage of anything of that, you should be able to, and if you don't, then you're just blowing opportunities. But let's see what the Viking offense comes up with now. Let's see what the coordinator's calling right here.
All right, so once again, Devin Gardner will take the snap on 1st and 10. He backs up. Now he's going to reverse gears. He's going to run. He's going the wrong way. He's about to run to his goal line, and he continues waiting. And he missed a tackle, and there he goes about the 20 to about the 30. I swear, that's a Fran Tarkin and Tony Romo play.
So what
he ran 60 yards in 5.
I was just going to say that. He ran about 65 yards just to get the 5-yard gain. It's still a 5-yard gain. It's a positive gain regardless of how you get it done. You got it done. You got a 5-yard gain.
That was exactly the play I was thinking. Tarkenton. He went all the way back. I was afraid he was going to get tackled, but somehow a Shark missed, and then Gardner's like, bingo, I'm off and running.
He is really elusive. I mean, he can be the spark that the offense needs, but, they just need to keep working with him.
I think everyone was tired, including us, calling that one.
Yeah, it's like he's left, he's right, he went back, he went forward, and then all of a sudden he breaks free, and he's able to get 5 yards out of it.
Well, anyway, it's after a long 6-yard gain. It is 2nd and 4 from the 31-yard line. Let's see if Gardner can catch his breath and make sure he can make an easy play out of this. Back to his right, they spread out. Wouldn't be surprised to call a draw. They do not. They throw right pass is incomplete, I think. Or did he catch it? And if he did, it was for a loss. Oh, no, it's actually Raquan Gibson who caught it. Ends up gaining 2 on the ended up back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain, and it's 3rd and 4.
The defender came down. Okay, the defender came down and made a good play on that screen play. I mean, he did bobble the ball a little bit, but at least the defender came up and made a good play and made a tackle on that. Because those plays can break for such a big play where, if he doesn't make it, the receiver turns and goes upfield, gets more yards.
Well, it was actually a completion for a 4-yard loss, so it is now 3rd and 8, and they'll spot the ball at the 27-yard line. Let's see what Gardner has up his sleeve here. Maybe another one of those crazy plays. You just don't know. So they'll spread again. Back to the right of Gardner. Now he's switching left. Looks like that is Isaiah Walker. He'll be to the left of Gardner in the shotgun. 3rd and 8. He'll wait the snap. He takes. Good one. Going back. Late rush. Now rolling right. He slips out one tackle and then fires. And the pass is knocked away, incomplete. That's some good defense on the part of the Jersey Sharks. Meanwhile, there is a Viking that is down at about the 24-yard line.
Wow.
Gallimore with a nice breakup, but one of the Vikings really took a hard hit. And could have been a blindside block that they didn't catch. So let's take a break. 22-0. Sharks of the Vikings. We'll have this injury timeout and come right back.
Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's comfort provider since 1987. With over 100 factory-trained service and installation personnel and a fleet of over 100 vehicles, we are able to service our customers faster and more effectively than our competitors. Our team of customer care professionals are always on call for an in-home consultation. If you and your family are in need of an installation or service completed by expert technicians, done professionally and efficiently, you need Edison Heating and Cooling. It's what we do.
My best advice to someone charged with a crime is to get a good attorney and not to say anything or do anything without first consulting with a good attorney. Our clients can expect a meeting at their home or in jail if necessary. We'll get investigators on your case immediately. We'll start the discourse with the prosecutors, and we'll try to get you the best representation that's available. At Lombardi & Lombardi, we have attorneys who were prosecutors. They know how prosecutors think and act, and they will be able to give you the insight to best represent you in defending criminal charges.
Okay, obviously we had an injury timeout, and it was actually Julius Toby who took a hard hit and may have had the wind knocked out of him. Fortunately, he is up and walking slowly on his own off the field on his own power, so thank goodness for that. But following the incompletion, it forces a 4th and 8. Now down 22-0, I would think they would call the punting unit on, but and then Fabian he is back there, so it will be a punt. I think it was Daniel Ruffin, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, for 44. I beg your pardon. We'll get this right here. So, but then again, Shark defense, they've been playing pretty well. I mean, as a team, they've done well, except for a few personal fouls, which they definitely need to clean up on. When we get to more important games, they could really hurt you more critically from a field position standpoint. All right, here is a nice punt on the part of Ruffin. Caught about the 43, running it back to midfield and back into Viking territory. Good tackle, as it is Naquan Walker who is able to get to about the 43 of the Vikings, and a tackle by Joshua Corsi. So 14-yard on the return, and the Sharks are out again, plus territory, first down at the Viking 43.
Oh, let's see what the Viking defense can do now. Hopefully they can come up with a stop again and get a turnover here. Maybe if we can get a turnover before this half ends and the offense can get back on the field and do something. It may be a good thing, make a game out of this. This here. But the Vikings right now, once again, they keep getting in their own way offensively. I don't know why. But the quarterback seems to be doing everything on his own. The defense right now, once again, defensive line needs to get penetration.
And now timeout called by the Vikings. They just used their last timeout of the half. So why don't we keep it here? And just to let you know that Jersey Shark football presented by Lombardi & Lombardi attorneys, longtime sponsors of Jersey Sharks football. When legal challenges present themselves, they can have a tremendous impact on your life. The uncertainty and stress you're understandably feeling can cause pervasive difficulties that can change the course of things. So look into Lombardi and Lombardi, especially if things have happened locally. They're located at 1862 Oak Tree Road in Edison. Give them a call, business hours, 732-906-1500. Again, 732-906-1500. Now, those of you who are watching us here on the HSG Network, hey, spread the news around and subscribe. High school football comes back next Thursday, right at the beginning of September 1st. From Hillsborough High School, the Hillsborough Raiders taking on East Brunswick. If I'm guessing that's the opponent here. It's a Thursday night special at 7 o'clock. So please spread the word about HSG Network and subscribe. We got a fall of action-packed stuff, whether it be high school, semi-pro, doesn't matter. We're here. It's the HSG Network, and looking forward to catching you again on Thursday evening from Hillsborough High School. And of course, the Raiders trying to duplicate what they did last year, which was one of the most special seasons we've ever seen.
1st and 10.
And in their division, they're top ranked. We'll see how long it lasts, because every time it's a new cast of characters, so let's see what happens on Thursday. Anyway, back to this one. The Sharks have 1st and 10 from the Viking 43. As here's Cabasa back. He'll throw, and almost came down with it. It's incomplete. Was that Carden again? Yeah, it was it was a heck of a try by Carden, but he just could not cradle it in. Actually, so Carden just couldn't come up with it, and it's 2nd and 10.
It was a good try. He went up there to try to get that ball. Then Manny had a little bit of pressure on him for the first time from that defensive line. Came up the middle on him, which was pretty good.
We'll also keep in mind, and we saw in the last defensive series for the Sharks, Gallimore was able to break up a key 3rd down pass. But once in a while, Moore would like to try and use him in some offensive packages. And actually, I beg your pardon, it was Gallimore who tried to catch that, and he just couldn't come down with it. All right, 2nd and 10 from the 43. This time, there's that handoff. Kelvin White. White crossing the 40, the 30. Still rumbling, bumbling, and he won't go down inside the 20 to the 17. 26 yards, and White just wiped everybody out. And back in the red zone go the Sharks with a 1st down. And I think they called a timeout, too.
Once again, you got these Viking players really not trying to make a tackle, trying to strip the ball. First, make a play. You know, if you're the first guy at the ball, make a tackle. Let the second guy come in and do the strip.
Let's take a look at a replay on that. Tremendous run by Kelvin White. I mean, that was almost like Mike Alstott at running back. And he would not go down.
Great block by the guard on the tackle, and he just went right up the middle. Once again, took it outside, cut it back inside again, and then just went straight ahead at the defender. Once again, guys are trying to make arm tackles or trying to pull the ball out to make a difference, but at this present moment, you need to make a play.
Well, they stopped the clock because they're actually going to try a field goal here. Jacob Hedner has come on, and this is going to be a 35-yard field goal close to the right hash, and Zarina to hold. Let's see what happens. A snap, kick on its way. I think it's well wide.
The flag on the play.
Is there a flag? So there's a possibility that there might be offside on the Vikings. Yeah, it came from the far side, and it is indeed offside on the Vikings. So that no-good field goal kick, they'll get to try it again, because remember, if we're out of time for the half can't end on a defensive penalty.
That's correct. Now let's see what the Sharks decide to do here, whether they continue to go kick this field goal or they're going to bring out the offense again.
Well, I would have to think with no time left, they're going to try and just try to field goal again. It's going to be a little shorter. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, they're just moving it up 5, so the ball is going to be spotted at about the 11. So that should make for about a 30-yard field goal close to the right hash. Makes it a little bit easier. And this day and age, it's a little shorter than your NFL extra point. But this is going to be worth 3. Zarina to hold. Let's see what happens as Hedner takes his
snap. And
the kick is blocked. And it's taken by the Vikings, and then it's loose again and recovered at about the 30. So that looks to be a final play of the half as the kick was blocked. The first one was no good. The second ends up being blocked. And the Vikings, again, with the strength of their special teams, do their job and prevent the Sharks again on the board. And that looks like
I
the...
believe is the half, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think I saw an official signal for it to be halftime or not, but... Or there might be another discussion.
Hey.
Yeah, but give credit. If there's anything bright to us, I think that one thing you got to remember regarding the Vikings, their special teams have kept them a little bit in this game.
The special teams have been big for them at the present moment. I mean, they just need to capitalize on these plays that they're getting here. You understand? I mean, if they're going to do that, we got to get a big return. We got to get, maybe a punt return for a touchdown, as we've seen the Vikings do in the past. So, special teams is good. They just need to get the defense and the offense clicking now.
By the way, we just want to let you know that for halftime, I guess you pointed out the U.S. Army thing. No, I beg your pardon. Oh, Too Lit to Fit Nutrition out of Avenel, New Jersey are going to be featured here. So enjoy your halftime activities, your halftime score, the Jersey Sharks 22, the Central Jersey Vikings nothing. Now the special halftime presentation from Too Lit to Fit Nutrition.
Hello and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town, and we're here today for the always pleasant task of welcoming another new business to Woodbridge Township. In this case, we're at 215 Avenel Street, right across from School 4 and 5, to welcome Too Lit to Fit Nutrition to Woodbridge Township. Joining me to my right is Shailene Arizari, and to my left, Eric Marmalejos. They are the owners of this wonderful business, and I'm going to turn the microphone over to them and tell me what exactly have you got going on here. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shailene Arizari, a.k.a. Coach Too Short.
A.k.a. who?
Coach Too Short.
Coach Too Short?
Yes, that's how everybody knows.
I got news for you. I never had that problem.
No, I know. But, so we are here serving up healthy nutrition inside of Too Lit to Fit Nutrition. The goal is to bring the community together, promoting a healthy, active lifestyle, showing people that healthy does not have to be boring. We are excited to be here. We are excited to be a part of this town and the community, and we can't wait to kill it with you guys.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so tell me what you serve. Give me the rundown of the menu. What do you serve here?
Okay, so we serve protein shakes that are high in protein, low in sugar, low in carbs, low in fat. We also serve energizing teas that are sugar-free. We like to compare them to other energizing drinks, but without the crash. They're stimulant-free, and everything is low glycemic, so if you have any medical issues, we are rocking and rolling for you guys. Oh, and protein donuts and waffles, because you can't forget that.
About coffee.
And coffee. We serve coffee. No, we serve coffee too. Protein-based coffee, 24 grams of protein.
Tell me what your hours are.
Oh, go ahead, baby. So hours.
We're open from Monday to Friday, 7 to 7, Saturdays from 10 to 7, and Sundays 9 to 3.
Okay, 215 Avenel Street, literally, South Emmett Avenue is right there. School 4 and 5 is right there. Ivy Lumber is right there. So that's where it is. Tell me about your social media presence. How does somebody give me your phone number, give me your website, give me your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram? Tell me everything.
Our Instagram is Too Lit to Fit Nutrition. Our Facebook page.
Number two.
L-I-T. Number two, F-I-T, Fit Nutrition. And we also have Facebook, Too Lit to Fit Nutrition. You can also follow our personal page. I Am Too Short and Eat That Dude. We also provide fit camps on the weekends, and we also provide workouts and other nutrition plans throughout the week as well.
How about your phone number?
We do not have a phone number.
You don't have a phone number?
No, not yet.
But you're going to have one, though?
Yes.
All right. No problem. I do things by phone. Your generation doesn't by computers and all that stuff. Well, let me ask our councilman here, Corey Spillo, who lives basically right around the corner, has been a councilman in Avenel for quite a long time. Let me ask him to say a few words. Corey, it seems like once again somebody's opening up something in Avenel, and it's all kind of due to the project across the street, but go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. I had the pleasure of meeting Shailene and Eric a couple months ago, getting them ready for their inspection as fire official. I knew they were going to hit it out of the park here. I drive by up and down this road probably at least 50 times a day. I work in Avenel. I live right down in College Town. The place is always jumping. I see you dancing all the time. And as Mayor, as you said, with the Station Village project across the street, APAC, the theater, curtains, you had told me that back in 2007, if we build it, they will come. Just a few years ago, this was just a vacant mess. It really was. It was an eyesore of this corner, and now you see this whole corner. It's lit up. It's beautiful. You continue to go down the road in Avenel, so it's a pleasure to welcome you to the neighborhood, and I'll be seeing a lot of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you want to know if you're going to be successful, you could just check with the psychic next door.
Yeah, that's
Right?
right.
I don't know, what's that prayer? Is it a man or a woman?
It's a woman.
Just ask her, how am I going to do?
I know.
All right, I'm gonna go next door now and ask her. All right, let's bring the proclamation in, if you don't mind. We'll take some pictures. All right, we're now going to cut the ribbon for Too Lit, Too Fit Nutrition, located at 215 Avenel Street. Shailene and Eric are the owners. Best of luck in this wonderful endeavor. Let's count down from 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, congratulations. Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
think that I'll keep loving you way past 65.
You wanna meet me at the bar?
Yeah.
Yo, you wanna meet me at the lounge?
Yeah.
Yo, you wanna meet me in the club?
Imagine a world where everyone is vaccinated and your grandparents can live their best lives. Again, get vaccinated. Be there. This is your shot.
I think that I'll keep loving you way past 65.
All right, we are back here at Edison High School here in Edison, New Jersey, where we're about to start the second half of play. The Jersey Sharks ahead of the Central Jersey Vikings by a 22-0 count. I'm Tom Wilkins, along with Howard Gaber doing the controls, and of course, Joey Pagan taking care of things with me here this evening. It was a very nice evening here in Edison. 83-degree kickoff time temperature. Things have obviously cooled off since then. But maybe the Central Jersey Viking defense has cooled off the Jersey Sharks a little bit, at least heading into the end of the half.
Towards the end of the half there, yeah, they stepped up a little bit and they did what they had to do. Let's see if they continue with the special team stuff too, and they can add to this game something besides, a lot of missed tackles is what I've been seeing that first half on the half of Central Jersey. They just poor tackling has been what's been keeping them, out of the end zone. I mean, not being able to keep the Sharks out of the end zone and stuff like that. So, and they just not having the offensive line hold enough. But they started coming around. They completed a pass or two and, a couple of fakes on special teams, and they were able to move the ball. So let's see what they come up with now. Let's see what adjustments Coach Lowe comes up with for the second half here.
Now, if you're on the Jersey Sharks side of the ball, how long do you keep Kabasa in there?
Oh, I don't think. I think maybe we give him one more series, and then we can go from there. And we'll go from there. You don't want to get your starting quarterback hurt at any point of the season, but still.
Well, we're going to see what happens as the Vikings will be kicking off to the Sharks. Sharks will get the ball to start the second half. Remember, they deferred to begin things when they won the coin toss, so now they'll have an opportunity to see if they can increase on that 22-0 lead. And so far, it's been pretty much all Sharks. I mean, they've managed to have an interception return for a touchdown from Quate Nesmith, a touchdown reception on the part of Derek Carden on literally the first play from offense after forcing a turnover. So a lot of good things have been going on. All right, kicking off. And that is Darrell Brown sending a one-hopper to about the 25-yard line. He'll be taking it about the 30. Oh, there's a hold at the 40. Hold of midfield. Look out! He's running towards Route 1, and he's going to get there. We'll get to the end zone. A tremendous kickoff return by Naquan Walker to start the second half of play. And the Jersey Sharks, just like that, extend their lead. Probably a 76-yard touchdown kickoff return.
That was a great return by the Sharks. It's the first letdown on the special teams from the Vikings all game, who's been, playing great. The special teams has been playing very well for them, and this is the first letdown that they have, and it's a big one at that. Started the half, you let them get a return for a touchdown. Now you're down 28-zip. You got a real fight to come back in this game. Now it's, it's a question of, what are you going to do offensively and defensively just to get stuff right on this trip right here.
And now officially, that is the second score on special teams today for the Jersey Sharks. A safety to start things off, and now a kickoff return for a touchdown to begin the second half of play. So coming right on for the extra point, Jacob Hetner. He's 0 for 1 in the field goal department, 1 for 3 on extra point opportunities. Let's see what happens here. Tom Zarino will be the one holding. Takes a snap. The kick on its way. This time down the middle for 2 points. Remember, in this league, for those of you who just joined us, extra points are worth 2 points if done exactly what Hetner just did. So that makes it a 30-0 game for the Jersey Sharks. Let's show you that great return again by Naquan Walker. and how he was able to get that wide open for the score.
I mean, he had a couple of really good blocks, but let's see what goes on here. Let's see how, what happens.
But notice, too, it was a one-hopper before
Right.
the return happened. So keep your eye on that.
All right, so the ball cuts off. It hits the ground there. That might have set the defense off, thinking that he may not go too far. He gets by one guy over pursuit there. And you get a couple of good blocks. One missed tackle, two missed tackles, and he is off to the races. That's a third one there, yes.
And Trayvon Blakey had no shot of getting him. It was an easy seven. It's actually going to be a 73-yard kickoff return for a score as he picked it up from the 27-yard line. So how about that?
Well, let's see what happens here because, I know Coach Lowe, big personally, and I know his thing is, one big play deserves another. So let's see if they try to get something back here offensively, on the special teams. Maybe they can run one back too.
Well, if they do that, then we're looking at I guess they're rehearsing Ravens-Giants Super Bowl 35 all over again.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's see because like I said, the Vikings have done it before.
Can they do it again? We'll see what happens. Here's the kickoff. And taking it about the 15-yard line, that's Gibson. Gibson doesn't quite make it, but he'll get to the 30-yard line. So a decent return on the part of Gibson, and that's where the Vikings will begin. Oh, it's Gallimore, I beg your pardon. Oh, Gallimore on the tackle. I said Gibson was the one who brought it back to the 30-yard line. So still the Vikings will start 1st and 10 from the 30. And now for Devin Gardner and company, I guess they'll a little earlier than expected to try and execute some second-half wonders.
Well, let's see what happens. Once again, the Vikings get pretty decent field position. The 30-yard line, that's a good place to start. But they just offensive just not been able to move the ball whatsoever, short of a penalty or some sort of broken play where they were able to get a first down on. So let's see what the Coach Lowe adjustments are for the second half and what he comes up with here, and let's see if the Sharks defense still stays aggressive and starts blitzing all the time again.
Okay, so 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line, and they're taking a lot of time here, so. I know that this game kind of has gone a little slower than a lot of people have anticipated, but you have to remember the officials are the ones keeping the time on the field, and sometimes the flow of the game may vary compared to other officiating crews. So that's something that's kind of like a little bit of out of our hands here. But anyway, it is 1st and 10, and Gardner is in split backs. Ball at the 30. Very quick snap. Looked like a broken play there. And here's Mulligan coming around and getting to about the 35. And that's what we're going to say he stepped out of bounds, so a 5-yard pickup.
Good run by the offense. It looked like they caught the defense a little offside, sleeping there for a second. They weren't so much set. And it was a quick snap, like you said, and it was off to the races. He managed to get 5 yards, which was great.
If I'm Coach Lowe, would I keep doing this?
If that's the only thing that's working at the moment, yeah, I'd come back to it at some point. Yeah, tempo possibly, yeah.
I forgot about the up-tempo possibility. Right now you're down 30, and it doesn't look like it's going to be your day or night, but you could try and gain some positive going into the next week.
This is true. Even if you get up-tempo now, you get to score. You get you build momentum, and you could take that up until next week with you if you need to.
All right, well, let's see how quickly they set up here between split backs. 2nd and 5. They're actually not going to quick snap it this time. But again, they're going to give it to a Mulligan. And unfortunately, the same play, but this time the Sharks were ready.
Defense was ready for it this time. They were set. They were able to make a play for tackle for a loss. Looked like also on that.
That is correct. Corey Jones with a stop there, right back to where they started, the original line of scrimmage. So it's 3rd and 10. They managed to gain 5 on that first play, and then they gave the 5 right back up, just kind of backpedaling with the Sharks over pursuing to the side that he was running to.
Right. Once again, the defenses, when they're set, they're ready. They do tend to over pursue a little bit, especially in this type of a game where you're up so much. You want to make a play, so any kind of trickery would work. If you do it right.
Here's Gardner with the snap, has a little time, he'll fire, pass just through the hands, incomplete. That was intended for Kwaku Lynchwood out of York College.
Kwaku Lynch.
Yeah, it says Kwaku Lynchwood.
Yeah,
according to what I've got.
Lynchwood.
Okay, well, whatever the case, it was intended for him. He just couldn't come down with it, and it looks like the Vikings will try and punt again.
That was a good play. He ran a good route. He came out from the backfield. Kwaku Lynchwood, yes, he's a veteran. Comes back from many years back. I've coached him myself. Good running back, good receiver out the backfield. I'm not sure, he probably didn't look the ball into his hands on that play. He should have been able to make a play on that.
Well, sometimes it's a matter of being ready and getting yourself in position, and I think he might have been a little bit out of position, which is probably why he couldn't get his paws and bring the pass down.
Well, let's see. Let's see what happens here.
Anything to use to catch the ball, you know.
Vikings are set up to punt. Let's see what happens.
Let's see if they actually punt. Twice they've done fake punts. Once worked. The other ended up being a safety. Let's see what happens. Everybody moved before the snap. So I guess we'll have to wait a couple more minutes and we'll see what happens again. So
There was a flag on that play.
So another penalty
there was a flag on that play.
And that's what happened in the first half. It looked like there were 5 people that were moving at the same time and literally arcing the line before the snap happened. This time, though, it's encroachment on the Sharks. So it's a 4th and 5, and I think they're going to still try and punt anyway.
Yeah, well, let's see now. Yeah, because it's 4th and 5, but we've seen the Vikings do what they do. You never know. You never know what he got called here.
Devon Bletcher is standing around the midfield stripe, and another flag. I didn't see that in the Weather Channel forecast, but let's see what this is about. Oh, and they're counting how many people on each side of the ball, and if it's more than 11, there is a parabolum.
How's it more? Where?
And back we go. So 12 men in the huddle against the Vikings. So here we go.
Yeah, once again, that's the guy.
Hey, listen, both teams have been responsible for this. I mean, later in the year, those are even more costly penalties.
That's true. You got to get those things settled early in the season. Your mid-season form now, you shouldn't have those kind of penalties going on at mid-season now. You should be, your special teams should be your special teams.
And the down marker's like, I've had enough of this.
Great punt.
Well, he gets the punt, and it's going to be a 2-hopper. And down.
Did he touch that?
No, he downed it at the 32-yard line. He thought about letting him have it, but he's like, no, I'll take that away. You're not going to run that one back. It would have been Gallimore on the return, but instead, guess what? Again at the 25-yard line, another flag.
More laundry on the field.
My goodness, there are going to be a lot of broken laundromats the way these flags are going down. But I think what's going to happen is the penalty happened during the kick. So I believe, it's going to be a personal foul, a face mask against the Vikings. So, no, they're not going to re-kick, but it will be 15 yards added to where he was down. So it looks like the Sharks are going to have it their own 47-yard line. And that's where it's going to be for a first down.
Well, I mean, once again, now the special teams seem to be what's hurting the Vikings. As instead of it being their best part of the game at the moment, now the special teams starting to bring them back down. They need to to start settling down again and get back to the way they were playing that first half.
Well, anyway, it is 1st and 10 to 47-yard line. Now, actually, maybe the 48 rather. Close to it. We'll compromise to 47 and 6/10. So Let's see what the Sharks do this time, as I'm sure they're going to bring in a lot of the reserves to play a good part of the second half. But right now, Kabasa with a lone back to the right in a shotgun. It looks like they spread out here. So let's see what goes here on 1st and 10. Even the right sideline said, let's make sure we're in position here. Kabasa takes the snap, a low one, goes back, looking, throws up the middle, passes, and it's knocked out. It is knocked out, incomplete. Was knocked out of the hands of Quincy Good. who couldn't quite come up with it. So good defense on that one, and it makes it 2nd and 10.
That ball hit him right in the hands. He should have caught that. I'm not sure why, but he dropped it. Now it just puts the offense into 2nd and 10.
Well, it's maybe a lack of concentration. I don't know.
I think, he was. Looked like he wasn't concentrating on the ball too well, but defender was there too. I don't know, it might have helped a little bit also, in that drop there. So, we'll see what happens.
Well, but you also got to consider too, 30-0. You're definitely pretty much on your way to winning this one. Yeah, it's easy to kind of lose a little concentration, but you kind of had to sharpen up those skills, especially at this point of the game. All right, here's a handoff on 2nd down and nothing doing. This time the Vikings pulling off the shark attack there. So good tackles on the part of William Witten Davila as well as Johnny Martin, who took a stinger earlier. He's back in there and made a nice tackle.
That was good. I mean, they got great penetration. I'm not sure if he had a blitz on there, but the defensive tackle managed to get in, and the middle linebacker was able to come up and make a play too with him. So, both guys were able to, come up and get the stop on Ridley, which is big. It's been hard for them to do this whole first half. They weren't able to get a hand on him.
All right, so it is 3rd and 13 after that 3-yard loss. Ball spot at the 45-yard line. Now Cabasa in the shotgun, back to his left, and again spread out as usual. Looks like the Vikings are going to show blitz here. And they're coming. Back goes Cabasa. It's well contained, though. Here's a pass that is caught by Justin Hayes, who crushes a couple of Vikings and still will not go down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. That hit was heard all the way to Colonia. Holy smoke, a gain of 17. And unfortunately, one of the Vikings took the worst of that hit. Let's take a look at a replay. I mean, look at what Justin Hayes out of Delaware State just did. He literally cleared out any traffic jam that Route 1 had tonight.
He's lined up at the tight end spot or a wing right there. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's being covered by anyone at the moment. Yeah, the linebacker just lets him go. He chips him and lets him go. He tries to get back and is not able to get back quick enough and passes court, and he just turns upfield. Nope. Right here, the safety is the one who takes the brunt of the play there when he squared off against him. Yeah, took a big shot.
Wow, that was a very hard hit. It might have been Saquon Johnson. It looked like there was number 12, but we'll try and get a better look at it a little bit later on. So let's take a break here in the third quarter. Sharks leading the Vikings 30-0. We'll come back in a moment.
Should have listened.
Excuse me?
You should have listened to Grandpa called Edison Heating and Cooling. You know you can always trust Edison to take care of our cooling needs. They would have given us a premier air conditioning system that actually worked. And with their reliable service, I wouldn't be here with my head in the fridge.
Okay, I'll give Edison Heating and Cooling a call.
Did you tell her?
I think she got the message.
Representing a seriously injured person requires a lot of research and preparation, but it also means giving hope to the client.
Lombardi Law is always there for you whenever you need them. You can count on them at all times. Lombardi Law gave me hope when I had none.
When you hire the law firm of Lombardi & Lombardi, you're not just hiring one attorney. You're hiring the education, the knowledge, and the experience of all 10 attorneys in this law firm.
Lombardi & Lombardi, representing seriously injured clients since 1973.
Where's the phone?
As you just saw, of course, you saw the commercial from Lombardi & Lombardi attorneys. When legal challenges present themselves, they can have a tremendous impact on your life. And the uncertainty and stress you're understandably feeling can cause pervasive difficulties that can really change the course of things. So, if you need to reach out, check out Lombardi & Lombardi attorneys located locally, 1862 Oak Tree Road in Edison. Call them during normal business hours at 732-906-1500. And I don't know if this is true or not, but they specialize in collisions. I don't know if the one you just saw a couple minutes ago qualifies.
Would qualify, yes.
Anyway, 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Whoever got hurt ended up walking off on his own power. He just had the wind knocked
Here we go.
him. And there's Ridley with a handoff, getting to about the 37. this time, and Johnny Martin was able to come through. And I believe, that was Saquon Johnson that got the worst of the hit. But thankfully, like I said, walked off on his own power, so that's good news.
Once again, the Viking defense, come up with a good play there. I mean, it's typical Johnny Martin. Once again, me knowing the Vikings, I've coached him at one point, and he is a good linebacker, and he's a very smart guy, and once he sees a hole, he hits the hole, he fills it the way he's supposed to. He just needs a little help up front, with the defensive lines.
Joey, just a question. Any of these players, such as Johnny or anyone else, have you coached them in like other leagues, maybe even Pop Warner?
No, sir, not Pop Warner. Not Pop Warner.
I thought I was getting a legitimate question.
No, it's 2012 Central Jersey Vikings.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. I remember that team. That was memorable. 2010 was certainly memorable too. All right, back goes Cabasa the wrong way, and he threw it for a screen incomplete that went to Kelvin White, a little bit short. But the Viking defense was actually coming full tilt, and Cabasa just kept going backward. But he found a man open and fell short.
Once again, the Viking defense got some pressure on there, but then again, it was a design screen, so they might have let them come through, but he wasn't able to complete the pass to the receiver coming out the backfield there.
Okay, so that will make it 3rd and 10, and the ball spotted about the 30, just outside the 38-yard line. Right now, the Jersey Sharks in control with a 30-0 lead, but the Vikings are still playing, and that's the key. Even if things aren't going your way, you play the entire time because you never know what can happen.
Yeah, they tend to play to the whistle, to the last whistle. They're not going to give up. They're going to keep fighting and clawing the whole night. They're not going to give up.
And that's why they're growing as a team. They're going to also have to learn how to not jump so badly offside as we just saw. Probably a hard count by Cabasa. I'm like, I'll take another 5 yards. Thank you very much. And this again on a 3rd and 10. You got to remember the last time it was 3rd and 16 through the hard count, got them offside, 3rd and 11. What do you know? They found Garden for a first down.
Right. Well, let's see once again.
So that moves it to the 33 and forces a 3rd and 5. And like I said to you earlier, Joey, that changes the complexion of the play. You can throw, you can run or throw.
Yeah, you can do either or. Now they've been successful with the run play early in the first half, but lately they haven't been able to get the run off with Raheem. With the linebackers filling the holes and making plays, you maybe get a little play action here on 3rd and 5. You never know.
Well, we'll find out. 3rd and 5 from the 33-yard line. Again, spreading out. That's pretty much what the Sharks have done most of this game. Cabasa with a back to the left in the shotgun snap. He'll take it. Going back. Being chased. Oh, I don't know. And there's a throw up the middle. Pass is caught. And that is Blutcher. Blutcher tries to get around and then reverses direction. He's got a first down anyway, but he ran about 30 yards, and I'm not sure if he gained any further yards.
First down.
So another first down for the Sharks, but everyone was running like, which way do I go?
Once again, he was just running back and forth there. I mean, he came across on a nice drag, and he found the soft zone of the defense there. And once again, the linebackers and the safeties for the Vikings were not able to make a play really quick on him. He was able to elude a few tacklers there and wind up running back for less yards and still getting a first down.
And it's also possible maybe it's the lack of experience for some of these receivers and the routes that they run after the catch. Rather than going forward, they end up trying to go side to side to get more yardage. But sometimes it takes more of a toll out of you. And at this point, just take what you can get, especially with the lead that you have. Here's a handoff, and there's Ridley in the red zone now, crossing the 20 and going down to about the 17-yard line. Ends up getting a gain of 6 on the play.
All right, there you are. You see, once again, they went back to the run with Ridley again, rather than going straight downfield, in between the tackles, in between center guard. They went off tackle again, where he's had most of his success running on the right side. So, once again, 6-7 yards was a great play. Now you got a 2nd and 2, and now your playbook is open. You can do whatever you want again. You can either run it again for another first down. You can pass.
And they can pretty much pull whatever they want. They can do like a fullback draw if they wanted to. At this point in time, with the game the way it is, you might as well experiment with a few things.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, between split backs, It is 2nd and 2 from just outside the 15-yard line. And this time, here comes Kelvin White, round away to the 15, 10,
Got a
5.
hold.
And he gets himself to the pylon. He wants a score, but
Flag.
guess what? Another flag. So we'll see what this is about. The preliminary indication looks like it's going to be on the Sharks for holding. So we'll see what this is all about. It might be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the hold. But the officials are discussing, and we'll see what this is about. But it will not be a touchdown. So, yeah, they are going to penalize 10 yards from the infraction.
Still going to be a first down. It's
Yeah,
first
they
down.
spotted the 12, so it's still going to be a first down. But being it a spot foul, so it is a first down, and that ball will be at the 13-yard line.
Yeah. I saw the hold from up here. You know, it was the receiver downfield blocking. He had a good block. He didn't really need to block that much, but he did have a hold of the defender. He was not allowing him to get free to make a play. So,
all right, so the Sharks will try it again, but they did get the first down. It's just the penalty happened at the 3-yard line. They penalized 10 yards from there. Let's see how they line up.
I don't see anything different right now other than, then the pro said maybe they'll throw a pass out of here.
Cabasas max protection, White and Ridley. And it's a play fake. Cabasa throws at the middle, and there's a goal. Welcome to the end zone.
Number 6.
And yes, this time it is Justin Hayes, and he didn't have to bowl over anybody to catch it.
Yeah, no, the defender was, they tried to keep him at the line of scrimmage, but he managed to break free and get upfield, and, Manny put the ball in the right place, threw it inside. The defender was standing outside of him, so that was a good thing there, the linebacker was there, but he was just, good throw.
And a good call by Cabasa, too. He knew the play fake that time. He thought about getting White involved again, but at that point, it was like, let me try something different. Pulled the play fake, and wide open was Hayes with the easy score.
Cabasa to Hayes over the middle.
So the 5th touchdown of the game.
Not trying to say
they've had one on defense, one on special teams, but that's the 3rd offensive score. 2nd touchdown pass for Cabasa today. Serena will hold for the extra point. The snap, kick on its way. And like we said, no, it's no good. Wide to the right.
No good.
So the 2 extra points don't work, and it ends up being 36-0 in favor of the Sharks. Let's take a look at replay, Joey, and see how wide open that Justin Hayes got. Now, he's lined up along the right side, and watch the move he puts on to get wide open into the end zone.
Like I said, he's on the end there as a wing. They try to chip him, but then the linebacker winds up rolling off and being behind him, and Manny with a great pass just over the reach of Johnny Martin, who was trying to get in position, was a good pass, good catch.
And Hayes was able to position himself to an area where only he could catch it.
Correct. It was a great play. Great play. The Vikings tried. They tried their best to defend it, but once again, Martin was a little slow in getting back to his spot where he needed to be. His hook to curl, and the other outside backer was just too big. He couldn't get around him and make a play.
Well, it's worked well for the Sharks today. They've been able, like I said, 5 touchdowns, 3 on offense, 1 on defense, 1 on special teams. Cabasa, remember, threw to Derek Carden for his first score. This time, that was Justin Hayes for his 2nd score. The other one on the ground was Raheem Ridley from 12 yards out back in the 2nd quarter, or late in the 1st quarter, rather. So this is where we are, 36-0, and the Vikings are just going to keep trying till they get it right. And they're not going to stop playing.
No,
head coach and owner George Lowe is not going to let them falter regardless of what the score is.
No, once again, they will keep fighting.
Here's the kickoff. It takes a neutral bounce. It's a live ball, but it is taken at about the 25, screaming around to the 40 midfield. Look at this! To the 40, to the 30, 1 to beat. And
wow!
He's thrown out of bounds about the 20. I don't see any flags down, but what a return! And again, that's Raquan Gibson. And it sounds like we're at three-quarter time here. So, wow, what a way to end the third quarter. And now the Vikings have a chance to get some points on the board when we come back for the final quarter. So after three, Sharks lead the Vikings 36-0. Coming back for the final quarter right after this.
Hello and welcome to Woodbridge, the best town.
All right, back for the final quarter here from Edison High School. I'm Tom Wilkins along with Joey Pagan. Howard Gaber taking care of the controls once again. So in the final quarter, we ended the third quarter with a bit of a bang as Raquan Gibson of the Vikings nearly broke one down the field, but was tackled right inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. And for the first time today, the Vikings are in the red zone. Let's see what happens as Devin Gardner in the shotgun. Might want to run a couple plays to see if they can get some points here. Easier said than done against the Shark defense, though. On first down, they're going to hand off and cut left, trying to bounce off a tackle. Ain't going to be too much, as a bunch of blue jerseys were waiting. Might even be maybe a yard loss. Justin Mulligan, the carrier there, but he loses a yard, looks like.
Yeah, the defense wasn't fooled by that at all. I mean, he tried to squeeze his way through there, but the Sharks were able to come up with a play and stop him. I think just for minimum gain, if any at all. Looks like they're keeping the sticks right on the same yard line there. So 2nd and 10 for them.
So it'll say no gain on the play, 2nd and 10, as the ball is right outside the 18-yard line. And we'll see how Devin Gardner manages. He's had a couple of nice plays, but at this point, it's about trying to improve and work on the situation and try and get some positives going into next week. Let's see what Gardner does. Has it back to his right in Anthony Lee, sending a man in motion. Now there's a flag down, a whole big mess here on the snap. Looks like Gardner fell, but flag is down. They let the play continue. So I don't know if it's illegal motion or offside, but the officials will let us know what it is. It is an illegal motion foul, so I think they'll refuse that penalty, and it'll be 3rd and long coming up for the Vikings. I mean, Joey, I couldn't really tell what that was. I mean, they let it go, but no. Oh, it is an illegal shift.
Illegal shift, yeah. Both guys went in motion at the same time.
And they didn't set for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the official gave the wrong thing. That's okay. I thought. Anyway, whatever it is, it was still a 5-yard penalty anyway. But it's got refused anyway, so it is 3rd and 17. As here's the snap. Back goes Gardner looking, waiting, firing, open man at about the 17-yard line. It was a little bit of a slowly developed play, but Tyshawn Robinson at Morristown High School was able to make the catch and was able to pick up a good 9 yards on the play.
Yeah, it was a good catch. He was on the sideline. He kept his feet in bounds, held onto the ball, was very good. Defender was right there, but good throw, good catch.
And at this point, I mean, you might as well go for it here. It's 4th and 9 from the 17-yard line.
Yeah, I don't think they have a field goal kicker either.
Well, like a field goal is going to do anything good at this point.
Moral victories.
Well, they got to take the little things and then build on them. So let's see what the Vikings do. 4th and 9. Ball spot at the 17-yard line. Looking to take advantage of that big return by Raquan Gibson. And I wouldn't be surprised to go empty gun here, but instead, it's going to be spread out. Back to the right. Gardner in the shotgun, waits the snap, takes, here they come, lobs it for the end zone, and it ends up being incomplete. They were looking for Trevon Blakey, but nowhere to be found there. Pass ends up being incomplete. The Vikings turn the ball over on downs, and now the Sharks can work on the clock a bit as they have first down back at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, the receiver, he did a good route. He just straight to the corner, but, I mean, they had two defenders there, so I'm not sure if he would have been able to complete it, but it was overthrown. But, I mean, it was a good try. Good try. I mean, he tried his best to get there, so Vikings are still trying. They're not giving up. They're taking their shots when they can.
And you might as well because, I mean, given the situation of the game, you might as well work on some things, as I mentioned.
That's right. Do what you can. Run. Get your receivers to run routes, and hopefully the offensive line can get together a little more and stay cohesive and block a little better for you. But at this point, he's still scrambling a little bit for his life there. If he can plant his feet and get a better throw, I think it'll be much better for him. So.
Like I said, it's always baby steps. I mean, there's practice, and then there's game situations, and then you take them on, you analyze, and it's how many reps you get. That's what it is.
That's right. You got to hope that everyone shows up to practice during the week so that you guys can get this down. But, I mean, if they don't all show up, I mean, what can we do?
Well, it's 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 18-yard line. As there's it's a dropped handoff. It is recovered by the Vikings, who get all the way down inside the 5-yard line. I don't know who had that, and I think we also had a quarterback change too. Yeah, recovered by Tyre Blount out of New Brunswick. And what do you know? Another turnover, and suddenly the Vikings have 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. How quickly things can change.
That is right. I mean, look at that. I mean, the defense was there. They stepped up. They came in. They did what they had to do. Got the ball back for the offense. Now, let's see what the offense can do here. Give me your best play out of your playbook that, you should be able to make a play with.
I mean, there have been plenty of turnovers in this game, and the Sharks have turned the ball over at least 3 times, maybe even 4. So, I mean, it hasn't been a real clean game for them, even though they have dominated on the scoreboard. But you also got to consider too that you got a second-string quarterback for the Vikings. They also have I'm sorry, for the Sharks. When you got with the main people pretty much out the rest of the game, when you're getting the reserves mostly playing, that's probably why these things end up happening.
That definitely could be what the situation is. You don't get enough playing time, enough reps. Then you get in there all of a sudden, and you get a miscommunication, and the ball gets snapped in the wrong way, and you wind up dropping it.
All right, 1st and goal up in the 6. I wonder if they're going to call his number for a draw play.
Yes,
what do you know?
They did. Good call, Tom.
But he didn't quite get in the end zone. He got to about the 2. Okay, I predict. Well, I don't have a plan for world peace yet. I don't know about that, but but it's 2nd and goal from about the 3. I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to see if maybe I can do a play action.
Yeah. Well, once again, like I said, Coach Lowe needs to look in the book and find out what are his best plays. If he can remember what got him positive yards here in this game and try to go back to that.
Well, it looks like they're going to go with the mega jumbo package and we'll see how they line this up.
Vikings have brought in their earth movers.
And they also have Anthony Lee in there. So we'll see what they do between split backs, 2nd and goal. They're going to say about the 3-yard line. Let's see what they do. Gardner calling it, waiting for the snap, takes... they tried a misdirection. It didn't work. I think they wanted trying to do. Justin Mulligan tried to sneak, but it didn't work as the Sharks were all ready for it.
They didn't fool the defense, not one bit.
I think maybe he should have held on to it, and he might have easily scored.
I think that would have been the better play, yeah.
The good old naked bootleg, but unfortunately that was clothed off nicely by the Sharks.
Yeah, they were not fooled at all. He had no ball fake at all. It didn't look anything. The defense knew exactly where the ball was going. He didn't do anything. So
ends up being a 3-yard loss, and it's 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line.
Once again, like I said, here, you would think the play would be a play action of some sort, but you hope that the defense is aggressive as they've been the whole game, right? They keep coming and coming. So let's see what happens here.
All right, here we go on 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line. Looks like they're going to go 3 wide slot left here.
He's underneath center.
And the single back is Mulligan. Interesting here. Let's see what happens with Gardner. He waits. Hard count doesn't work. Waiting some more. Now he's going to run for his life. Waiting. And now firing. And is it? Yes, it's caught. How about that? Welcome to the end zone for the Vikings. How about that catch by Raquan Gibson? He set this up with the kickoff return on the previous series. A turnover was forced after the Vikings turned the ball over on downs. They get the ball back on a turnover, and they take advantage of it.
Once again, you see that they are relentless. They do not stop. They don't give up. They fight to the very end. And, that's a team, once again, they're building. They're building. They're going to continue building this season and next season. They may be a much better team if, they get the right pieces in there. They can do well.
All right, this is the 1-point conversion. As they will try. They only line up a receiver on the right-hand side. And now whistles blow for the conversion. And somebody called timeout. It's the Vikings.
Timeout, Vikings.
Well, actually, there was one sponsor I missed, and that is Team NJ Softball, where you can stay on top of everything that is Team NJ Softball. Join our newsletter to stay informed about all the latest news and updates at Team New Jersey, and most important, the tournaments that you want. Visit their website at teamnjsoftball.com, and of course, you can call toll-free 866-815-8600. If you wish to go snail mail on them, it's P.O. Box 366 in Rumson, New Jersey, the zip 07760. While we have a moment, the other sponsors we want to thank, the Edison Township Police, of course, part of the Edison, New Jersey crew. Call me if you need their services at 732-287-0900. Also, Edison Heating and Cooling at 732-372-4957 or info at edisonhvac.com. By Lombardi and Lombardi Attorneys. Locally in Edison, reach out to them at 732-906-1500. Quality Bath. Call them toll-free, 800-554-3210, or visit qualitybath.com. By Too Lit to Fit Nutrition, which you saw for halftime, located locally 215 Avenel Street in Avenel, New Jersey. And, of course, by the U.S. Army. Check them out at goarmy.com.
All right, let's see what the Vikings come up with now. They came out of the huddle.
Did they sign a kicker during the timeout?
No. Unfortunately, no, they didn't, but let's see here.
Well, anyway, they will go for the 1-point conversion. Hey, crazier things have happened in semi-pro. What can I tell you? And
we got movement. Let's see.
Hey, comedy of errors in booth and on the field as now a neutral zone infraction against the Sharks. So that will move half the distance. I'll tell you one thing. There have been a lot, and I mean a lot, of penalties in this game. And that's one thing both teams really need to clean up, especially late in the year.
Yeah, there has been a lot of penalties this whole game. It's unreal. A lot of turnovers, too, believe it or not. 2 turnovers here, some key turnovers, which allowed the...
Oh, and here's an interception. They're bringing him back. This could be for points. This could be for points. Going back to the 20, the 10. Are you kidding me? Kyle Kameka out of Gettysburg just ran it back 95 yards, but it's not a pick six. It's a pick one.
That's it.
Oh, my. I'm not laughing. We've seen everything in this game, shall we say. So the conversion makes, if it's a 1-point conversion, it's 37-6.
That was some return. That was actually some return.
We've seen
Not a
we have
touchdown.
seen
It's a 1 point. They were going for a conversion.
We have seen a safety on
Great
fourth
job.
down on a fake punt, and now a conversion brought back 95 yards for 1 point. So it is 37-6. So there has to be a kickoff by the Vikings, or now they're saying it's a 2-point. So I guess it is 2 points. So we'll make it 38-6 then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have to go back.
Oh my goodness! Can I have three? This is gonna be an auctioneer thing for the conversion now.
Here we thought the Vikings were going to be able to come away with some more points on the 2-point conversion, 1-point conversion, but
can we make it 1.5?
Wind up being an interception for 95 yards.
So, folks, and we've seen this a lot where on the conversion where it's returned back to the end zone, that's 2 points for the defending team. But still, it is going to be a kickoff for the Vikings, and the Sharks will get the ball. So I think everyone needed to make sure everyone was on point with how the scoring was. So 1 point if the offense scores, 2 if the defense scores.
Right. That's pretty much the way it goes here. It's not a touchdown when you run back, extra point. So, but once again, the Vikings, they did score. They got something to build on. They can work on it. Hopefully for next week, there's stuff that they can do. This game is still not over. No, not much time. So,
well, anyway, the Vikings will be kicking off eventually, and the Sharks standing at about the 17, 18-yard line. So it will be Darrell Brown kicking off again for the Vikings. And let's see what he does with this. Ball is ready for play, and now, they're trying to get everyone lined up in the right spot. If they were to try an onside kick, they have to have equal players on each side. So here's a short kickoff, and it's a live ball, but it's going to go out of bounds, and that's going to mean the Sharks will get it probably about the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and that's probably the best thing that can happen to the Vikings right now, being that's their last kickoff. They had nobody on the return, and they were able to run it back for a touchdown. So, that's the better thing. They can come out here and play some defense, hopefully, now.
All right, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Sharks just try and melt the clock here. Again, official time is kept on the field, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of running in the next 5 to 10 plays.
Yeah.
I think Zorino, is back in. Cabas, I think, may have taken off his uniform for all we know. So... And Ridley also is walking. I think he's also done for today, but he's had a nice game. I mean, the guy keeps on chugging. One of the all-time great semi-pro veterans, play on so many teams now, helping out the Jersey Sharks. And now we're going to have a timeout. We have timeout called by the Sharks, so we're going to keep it here.
Timeout.
And the Sharks are first and 10 from the 41. We resume play. Now, Joey, in this league, obviously the Sharks have had a great run, and they're a few minutes away from going to 5-1 year. Now, remember, their only loss was to the Ducks. Do you see them as formidable competition, or who else do you think could threaten, especially later on come playoff time?
Well, the New Jersey Hawkeyes, who they beat last weekend, is one of those teams that can really contend, because they were undefeated up until last weekend's game when the Sharks beat them. So, I mean, and they beat them with the last. Yes, and maybe the Owls are another team that can be out there that can do something against them here in this league also.
All right, on first and 10, here's a handoff up the middle. And another fumble recovered by the Vikings, and it's going to be run the other way. It's Tyre Blount running to the 30, the 20, and crashes out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Like, what is going on here?
Here you are. Once again, this Viking team does not give up. There's no such thing in them. There's no give up in them right now. Coach Lowe's got them fired up. They're fighting. They're not going to stop. It's a matter of pride now. And they're doing what they got to do, coming up with plays.
And that is your character building thing, which is going to make them pretty tough when they iron out the the loose ends here. This is going to be a team that's going to be back in its winning ways before too long. Of course, in the days where I remember they were involved in that epic game for one of the other leagues where they won their championship. It was like 2010. And they won like 3 overtimes, like 14-8, when they were known as the Middlesex Vikings.
It was 3 or 4 overtimes, if I'm.
It was 3 because, and the funny thing about that game was that you go ahead, you can mention what your side was.
No, listen, it was an epic. It was an epic game. It was very cold that day, and we battled the whole time against the Longhorns. It was a major deal. But it was a great game. Once again, it shows you how, for that many quarters we fought to wind up coming up with the win in the last play of the game, basically in overtime.
Well, it was actually a 3 overtime game. And the crazy thing was the officials then did not remember that if they played 15 minutes, they go to the college shootout after that. They played another 15 minutes and still nobody scored.
And then they figured out we got to go to college shootout rules, and that's when that's what they did.
Or we'd still be playing 12 years later.
Probably, yeah. And I'd be frozen by now.
They'd be calling the reserves all the Bridgewater, but anyway. Anyway, 1st and goal from the 10-yard line after that long return. So back at work is Devin Gardner. Let's see what other tricks he has up. They have a receiver to the left, and that is Ziff on the far hash mark. Now he gets under center, single setback. Probably going a jumbo package here. Here's a handoff up the middle, crashing to about the 6-yard line. That would be Quaker Lynchwood.
Yep.
So it looks like he's going to get some playing time to try and move the line over.
He got a couple of yards there, which was pretty good. So, makes it second and from the – when you get a second and it looks like the ball is on the 6-yard line, 7-yard line from here. They're going to, maybe they'll run the ball again, maybe a little play action. I'm not sure. I mean, once again, Coach Lowe's going to go to the book and see what's worked for them offensively and try to get back to that. I'm hoping that's, that would be something that he would look at. Unless he draws up something on the chalkboard right now.
Well, it looks like they're taking a lot of time in the huddle, a ton of substitutions. I wouldn't be surprised they call timeout here because it's taking a while. And if they're not careful, they're going to have to take a delay of game.
Yeah, looks like the ref is ready to get rid of that flag. He ain't even indicating it's 10 seconds.
They could quick snap if they want to, but we'll see. Gardner in the shotgun, 2nd and goal from about the 7. Now getting under center is Gardner in a big crouch. Waits for the snap at some point.
Anything. There it is.
Time froze for a minute. He's going to run around to the right and fire.
Touchdown!
Welcome to the end zone, and this time Trevon Blakey comes through with the score. And lots of whistles here. Have they decided this could be the end of the game, possibly? We don't know.
I didn't see a 2-minute warning even.
Or the 2-minute warning was after the fumble return. That's my guess. So officials standing around saying, "What's going on here?"
Yeah,
But we'll find out if they're walking off the field. We'll know. Yeah, that could be the 2-minute warning right there. But they had to go for a conversion. I mean, we've seen some of the most oddball plays. We've seen some oddball plays in this game, to say the least. But there will be a conversion. There will be a conversion, of course.
It's a conversion sometime down, he said.
Oh, so maybe they're going to do the conversion. That's going to be it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what they're going to say, the touchdown counts, and they're going to let them do the conversion, and see what will probably be the final score. Oh my goodness! It's been an entertaining game, to say the least.
Once again, the Vikings did manage to come back and play a little bit of football in the second half. Got a couple of good breaks and capitalized, which is what you want to do.
But guess what? We're not going to go home yet.
Illegal substitution.
So 12 men on the field again. So the conversion will be back at about the 8-yard line. I can't. I mean, at this point, just take a timeout or actually don't take a timeout and just do the best thing you can here.
Yeah, get right back underneath center. Let's get this play called and run the play, and let's get out of here.
Yeah, but I think they realize that maybe there's a curfew in Edison for all we know. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, here's the conversion with Gardner under center, taking a snap, going back, looking. We'll throw the fade route for the corner.
Oh!
And he caught it.
Great play. Wow.
How about that? Trevin Blakey caught it. It's only a 1-point conversion. And
what an amazing catch for him to realize where he was on the field, come back, get the ball, and keep his feet in bounds.
And guess what? We can finally say that's it, I think. Yeah, the Vikings are like, okay, we're done for this one. So your final score, the Jersey Sharks win 38-13 over the Central Jersey Vikings. Joe, your final thoughts.
Once again, I'm very happy with what the Vikings did here in the second half, capitalizing on turnovers and, building character once again and getting your team ready, building, like you said, and bonding right now. And they'll be ready for next week. I'm quite sure Coach Lowe will get a practice in and, build on what they got so far. And hats off to the Jersey Sharks for doing what they normally do. Played a great game again. A couple of penalties and turnovers hurt them, but, and in big games, that'll be trouble for them.
Join us again on the HSG Network Thursday night for Hillsborough High School football against East Brunswick. Kickoff set for 7 p.m. is again for Thursday, September 1st. We hope to see you there. Make sure you subscribe to HSG Network on YouTube. Your final score here, the Jersey Sharks 38, the Central Jersey Vikings 13. For Joey Pagan, Howard Gabriel, I'm Tom Wilkins. Thanks for joining us here on HSG Network for the League of All Leagues. And